hit those big red buttons.
All right, Brendan, are you recording on your end?
Yes, sir.
All right, is everyone's good to go?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me just take a sip of my triple berry. The triple berry's back.
Triple Berry's back.
Is that Propel?
Everyone, no, it's Poland Spring sparkling water.
Oh, it's
Everyone's
Poland
favorite
Spring.
flavor. Yeah.
I miss Poland.
Actually, I'm drinking Polar. I'm not drinking Poland Spring.
You don't drink
Wow. I only do.
Fruit 2.0?
No, I only do the Poland Spring sparkling water.
I don't even know if Fruit 2.0 exists anymore.
All right, well, all right. Without further ado, I guess I'll get into it then. Hey, Upper East Siders, and welcome back to another episode of the Lonely Boys podcast. My name is Matt. I'm one of your titular Lonely Boys, and I'm here to break down Season 5, Episode 19 of Gossip Girl. Girl Interrupted. I'm not here by myself. I'm here with someone, he just came back from shooting hoops, so of course he's wearing his red onesie. It's Brendan Ruffalo.
Hello, I'm your co-host, of course, the creepy uncle of podcasting, a.k.a. Uncle Cream. Hi, Dale Cream Nation. I'm recording live as host in the Crematorium. I'm the editor-in-chief here at Cream Weekly. Dr. Officer Cream reporting for duty. Cream, yes, cream.
Cream, yes, cream.
And ACAB, all creams are bastards, of course.
Wow.
That was a really
mouthful.
great intro and really great outfit. I'm so glad we got another basketball outfit.
Just a couple of weeks ago, you were saying, "Man, I wish Chuck would wear that
And
the
you had
basketball
to
outfit
bite
again."
your
And then he
little tongue.
came in. I know. And then he came in with a better basketball outfit than we've ever seen him wear.
I was so excited to see it.
before.
It's like, oh, that's a cool, like Adidas tracksuit. And they're like, wait a second, that zipper stops. That's one outfit. That's one outfit. Great
well,
stuff.
Brendan, it's a little more packed than usual here in the general chat
getting
over
a
at
little warm.
Uncle Cream Discord. So we have not one, two guests.
Wow.
And it is someone that we are no strangers talking to. Of course, we've chatted Boy Meets World with them plenty of time. They are the hosts over at the Shit 90s shows. Man, that's a mouthful. Shit 90s show taught me. I believe they are. We have finally got them on our podcast here for Lonely Boys. Please welcome to the pod, Sara Fergenson and Jess Sterling. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hello. I am so finally happy that I'm here. You have finally given me the it girl status that I have been demanding.
Mm-hmm.
So happy that the baton got passed.
Yes.
We gave it
A
to
lot
you,
of
then we got
people-
really mad about it for some reason.
I didn't. The thing about the it girl status is that you never want it, but it gets bestowed upon you,
Mhm.
and then you accept it, and then you give it away, and then you want it.
And then you pose on a street for photographers.
Yes. Yes. I'm very happy about the baton passing, because the thing about the old it girl, Serena van der Woodsen, I hate her more and more every week.
Oh my god, this may be an all-time low for me. Again, like off pod, I was talking about how I renamed my cat Puma Vanderwoods, and that's why I was so upset about it. Like, what am I doing?
Oh my God. But yes, we'll get into all of that and more. But thank you for coming on the podcast. It's been a long time coming. Of course, we always love chatting with you guys. But I will ask you guys what I ask all of our first time guests, and that is, what is your history with the beautiful show known as Gossip Girl? Did you guys watch it when it was on? Did you binge it when it was over? Have you seen all of it? Have you rewatched it? You guys in Gossip Girl, what's going on with that?
I guess I'll go first. So I was a day one watcher of Gossip Girl. I've seen every episode, and furthermore, I have read all the Gossip Girl books.
Wow, this is a fan.
In addition to all the Jenny Humphrey spin-off books,
Oh.
which I believe, in my opinion, even though I cannot remember the name of them, are better books.
I want to read those. I didn't know those existed. That sounds great.
They are so good. Jenny Humphrey, and this does not happen in the show, of course, gets shipped off to a fancy ass boarding school. We know she's the poor girl on campus, of course, because she lives in Williamsburg, so she's so poor. She's so poor, but she goes to a fancy boarding school, and then shenanigans ensue.
That sounds great.
Yeah, so that is
You're more qualified to be on this podcast than we are.
Yeah, I haven't.
And I
haven't seen all the episodes yet.
I certainly believe that the Jenny Humphrey books are better, because I read the first Gossip Girl book and did not care to read any of the other ones, because I didn't. I said, you know what, I'll just rewatch the show.
Oh, I have the first Gossip Girl book on my bookshelf, but then it got packed away because I don't know why, but that wasn't like required reading for my everyday life. But I had it right behind me just a few weeks ago.
Coincidentally enough, the Jenny Humphrey spinoff series is called The It Girl.
Oh,
It was right there in front of us the whole
Wow,
time.
destiny.
my tongue. Jess, how about you?
Yeah, I have almost the opposite experience. I didn't watch any Gossip Girl up until you all started podcasting about it. I binged
Nice.
the first 3-ish seasons, I think, took a very long break. And then you were like, hey, your podcast episode is coming up. And I was like, better get back on it.
Nice.
So I watched all of season 5 in like the past week. So
Great season
just-
of television.
I just
I'm so sorry.
these people are so incestuous and nasty.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they just swapping DNA all over
Well,
the
you know,
place.
it's
Like,
not their fault the
everybody's
show
kissing
lasted to season
everybody.
5. It's bound to happen.
It's just ridiculous. And like
Everyone's kissing everyone.
I know Blair Waldorf's like headbands are like the thing, right?
Mhm.
Like I feel like people talk about that all the time. People don't talk enough about how weighed down Serena must be from the heavy jewelry she wears on a daily basis because her neck it must struggle to carry all of the accessories.
Yeah.
Yes, she's always very accessorized.
And Blake carried that
and-
to real life, too. I heard she was wearing like over $1 million worth of jewelry at the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I did see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you see
Lots
her
of lots
arm.
of
It was decked
Arm
out.
candy.
Yeah.
Real it girl status right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Her hair was so
Um,
big; it was full of so many secrets.
So many secrets.
So many
Now,
secrets.
in your guys' watching of the show, do you have any favorite or least favorite characters?
So I've always been the biggest Blair stan ever since I read
Nice.
the books. And the thing is that like although Serena is cool and Serena is beautiful, that I can curse here, right?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Rip
That
them.
fucking
Encourage
bitch.
it.
Yeah.
Everything that she's ever wanted, and it's infuriating. And then although Blair seems like the bitch, like seems like the bad one, she's had to work for everything that she's ever gotten. Nothing comes easy for Blair. Poor Blair. And I was just always so sick of Serena just like coming in, everything just works out for her with her big flowy blonde hair and her wonderful statement necklaces. So yeah, I've always been a big Blair fan ever since the books, ever since season 1, and that carries over. Like I can literally write like an entire thesis on how Blair Waldorf is like an inspiration for us all.
Oh my god.
And-
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir over here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will still not get over the fact that freaking Serena Vanderwoodson got into Yale after that's all Blair wanted in this world, and she didn't get in. I'm still mad about it.
And
That's
then
why
no
she
one ends
doesn't.
up going to Yale.
No one
Looked
goes
like-
to last.
there was a point where it looked like everyone was going to go to Yale, and then everyone just went to Columbia instead.
Is anyone in
First
college
of
at this
you.
point? Is anyone doing anything at this
They should
point?
be- they should be in college, but they've all got businesses to run and books to
No
write.
one has
and
taken a single class up in here.
Not a all
single
season,
class
for
has
sure
been
not.
taken.
He still has time to
really funny
lit
'cause
playing lacrosse, but
Serena's looking for like a direction right now, and she could easily just go back to Brown or something like that. She's like, no,
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
I
gonna run
don't
this
know. Go to
stupid
school,
blog.
Serena.
many
Yeah.
Ivy League schools she's been
accepted
into,
too.
she got into. Jess, in your binge, do you have a favorite or least favorite character?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is one of those shows where like everyone becomes hateable at some point.
Of
Like they
course,
all go
yes.
through their cycles. But I think the thing I like most is like Chuck at least is like a villain and he knows it. And that I appreciate because if
Sure.
you're gonna be an asshole, at least like be like, that's me, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate that about him because there are some people who are like, oh, I'm a good person. And I'm like, you're not though. Like you're absolutely not.
Yeah, I feel like Dan gets
And-
that a lot.
Oh,
So people come
Dan
out to complain
is-
about a lot.
Dan is the quote unquote nice guy, and I just can't. He's like, oh,
He's
I'm
such a
poor.
polarizing character.
He's like, oh, I grew up so poor, and it's like, we're in season 5 now. You've been hanging out with these rich people. You are no longer like of poor status. Thank you.
Well, he's the stepson of the richest person.
That's-
So
Exactly.
he
Right,
was-
right, right.
and he wrote a book.
Lily Rhodes.
Yeah,
He did write a book, bestseller.
Ugh, I
Number
can't
9 on
with
the
that-
bestseller
that
list, of course.
storyline is so
Top 10.
stupid. But and now he's with Blair, which we'll get into.
Ugh,
But
yeah.
I just and here's the thing, because like again, I said I didn't watch this as it aired, so I don't know like what the general population and fandom, I have no idea like who they shipped, anything like that.
Oh, we've been going over this. It's been ship wars. We've been going back into the comment section and the wikis.
The comment section seems pretty even. Like, everyone hates each other.
So what is the Blair Dan like ship name? Is it Dare?
We don't
It's Dare and Chair.
Dare sucks. This
Dare and
sucks.
Chair.
Darkest timeline. They don't make any sense together. I was so
I
happy
agree.
when they were like, let's have sex, and then they were both like, this was terrible.
Like,
I was
that's it.
That's over.
We're good. We're good.
No, it wasn't over yet, and now I'm devastated about it.
I know. And I love them becoming, going enemies to friends. And then I just don't, this relationship is not working for me. She belongs with Chuck. Everyone knows it. I'm with the chair shippers in the wiki comments.
They're both so toxic that it works.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
Just bring your toxicity together.
So from my memory, we were firmly very much like on Tumblr. Blair and Chuck were like the couple. Like that's the couple that everybody was sharing those little pictures with the text on it and on the Tumblr.
Meme back in the day on Tumblr.
Right.
YouTube
and
compilation videos.
Exactly. We were from once again my memory, very disjointed and upset about a Dan and Blair pairing. So yeah, like the general consensus is you're right, Jess, in the darkest timeline.
Yeah, this is terrible. Can I also ask you all, who do people ship Serena with? Like, who is the number one? Is it Nate? Is it
I've always
Dan?
felt like that she's going to end up with Dan, but I don't know I don't want her to be with anyone. I don't want her to be happy per se.
I think I've seen most people like Serenade, the Serena Nate pairing. I think they're both such like golden retrievers, kind of. I mean,
Nate
Serena's
is so just like, oh my god, you could just run all over him all the time. Like, get a backbone, my guy.
I like him with all the randos. I enjoy him dating like a Dana.
He loves to date a rando.
It's more fun, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what
they have no idea what to do with Nate, to the point where most of his storyline this episode is, who's going to get the office at his at the sec thing. So Nate's concerned.
We're going to talk about the fact that what is her name? Elizabeth Hurley, is that the actress's name? Mm-hmm. The fact that they not only got her for this show for a very long time, but that they wanted us to believe that she would fuck Nate. Like, it just boggles the mind.
She will.
Times.
Been there, fuck that. For
Just Elizabeth freaking Hurley, you know?
Yeah, they got Elizabeth Hurley, and they made her thing that she likes to fuck young boys.
Apparently, really, really young boys.
They're just getting younger. Let's get into this episode. Brendan, it's your time to shine. The episode title is "It Girl Interrupted." Do you have any idea what that might be referencing?
No. I want to say.
On a roll, Brendan.
I know.
5 in a row or something.
I don't know what this could be. It's maybe one of the ones that's just. It is what it is. It's It Girl Interrupted, but I want to say it's something that rhymes with it. It's not like Shit Girl Interrupted. I don't think that's what it is.
Is that your official guess? You're not going to get it out of me, Brendan. You got to
coax it out of you. I'm going to get myself into trouble by trying to guess something, so I'm just going to leave it as It Girl Interrupted.
All right, you think it's referencing It Girl Interrupted?
Sure.
We're so close. It is referencing the 1990 film Girl Interrupted.
It's referencing Shit Girl Interrupted.
Yes, it was. Your instinct was correct. It was Shit Girl Interrupted. So your first miss in a while. You're still over 500 though. You're now 11 for 19 on the season.
Okay.
Feeling good?
All right. Still all right.
All right. Original air date, April 9th, 2012. And we start with Blair receiving a package from the law firm. We remember last week that Georgina was leaving town to go to Monaco to get Blair her divorce. And now, 1 second into the next episode, we find out that Blair has gotten her divorce. We don't know how Georgina did it. We will find out later that it wasn't even Georgina that did it. So don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, what did Georgina end up doing? Where is she?
Asking Chuck to pay it, I guess. I don't know, what's Georgina up to? Is she running a fool's errand right now, trying to get a divorce that already happened? Who knows?
Who knows? I want to see that story.
Yes. So they don't mention what Georgina did. Even Blair is like, I don't even want to know what she did. Ignorance is bliss. She's sure she'll pay the price for this eventually, but right now, she's just going to enjoy it. She can stop avoiding everything, and she can finally call Dan, to which I'm sure we were all like, "Yay, Blair and Dan get to be a couple now!" Woo! It's so
They
exciting.
can finally go on the Upper East Side holding hands. And so
Finally go
happy.
have sex in another dive bar bathroom.
Oh God, yeah. Whatever gets them out of bar bathrooms, I guess I'll support. But
Do you think they bang in the trough?
it's
Almost definitely.
God, I really hope not, Brendan. Is Blair really done with the royal family? Is this it?
On the TV show, or we're not going to see them anymore?
She got her divorce. Is this it?
I guess so. I don't know. I think it's too good to be true. We're going to see Louis one more time.
All right, I won't
Maybe Louis gets
confirm or
married to
deny.
Georgina.
I'm so sick of Louis. I don't know
Oh,
the
God.
answer because I've only seen up until this episode. Can I also just mention that Louis' French accent is so trash? I don't know if that actor is French, but I don't think he is.
I think he is.
I believe he's French. I think he's just a bad actor, and even when it comes to his native tongue.
It was so annoying. They dragged that storyline on forever.
Oh,
It's like
God, I
while
know.
Blair was engaged, she was with like 4 other people. It was like Louis, Chuck, Louis, Chuck, Louis.
It was a
Dan,
love
Louis, Chuck.
pentagon. It was.
I think Rufus
Blair
started
is-
it too at some point.
The show should
Dan-
be called Everyone Loves Blair. Like, and
That's
call
what it
a
was.
day.
at the
It
point.
was, yeah.
Dan, Chuck, and Louis all in love with Blair at the same time, while Serena was also in love with Dan. It's the rarely seen, often talked about love pentagon
Honestly, I
on a
think
teen
people-
drama.
They just need to walk outside a little bit more. You live in New York freaking city. We don't need to like go back to dating the same people we've dated 5 times already. Just go find a new person.
Yeah, but they're all hot.
Yes. Yep. On the bright side, they're all hot. Serena is reading the Gossip Girl tips. Remember, she is Gossip Girl now, and she's reading tips about herself because, of course, she is. Not only could she not turn down the prospect of being Gossip Girl, but she's also so self-absorbed that she's just reading about herself. I'm assuming she just like Control F'd her own name and is just reading through all the tips.
Is this me like when I weekly Google my own name? Is it just like that?
Listen,
I weekly
I'm
Google
talking
your
a lot
name
of
as
shit.
well.
But yeah, if Gossip Girl was around, I'd also be Control F'ing my name just to. I'd be like Jenny trying to get on Gossip Girl. I'd be like, come on, just post about me one time. Come on, Gossip Girl. But yeah, Serena's also like deleting all the tips about herself. Like, aren't people gonna get suspicious when Gossip Girl starts reporting again on like everyone except for Serena?
Yeah, I mean, well, she's usually like the top subject.
And then
love
by the
how-
end of the episode, where it's like, Serena's the only it girl. We all love Serena.
Yeah.
I love like in a couple of scenes, she just says to Blair, "It's like it's so weird. I just don't know why Gossip Girl stopped writing about me. Do you have any idea why?"
She wants Blair to know that she's
Keeps
Gossip
happening.
Girl so badly.
And Blair's just like, "Yeah, I don't care.
Right.
This is my problems, by the way."
I'm going through a divorce. Hello.
Yep. So the real Gossip Girl messages Serena and says that you've had Gossip Girl for a week. Give it back by the end of the day, or I'll start to play dirty. XOXO GG. Gossip Girl noticeably never threatened Georgina like this during Georgina's reign. I think she I think she was afraid of Georgina.
That could be
Everyone
true.
is afraid of Georgina, as they
Actually,
should
should be.
They definitely should
Yeah.
be.
That
She's
woman,
crazy.
she told some man, Dan, this is your baby. And then after the baby was born and he was taking care of them, was like, actually not your baby. Thanks.
No. Also, I'm
Thanks
gonna
for the
leave.
daycare.
And also, I'm going to go to the spa.
She actively hates that baby. I'm just saying. she hates her own baby.
Or Milo, not getting any care from Georgina at all.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Georgina's one of my favorite characters because sometimes they're like, we don't have anything going on. Let's just pull in Georgina and just
Yep.
like have her send
No, it's
everything
good.
for
Yeah.
a spin.
I'm excited
To
to
break
see
glass
how
in
it
case of
ends.
emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they don't know what to do, they just bring in Georgina to cause some chaos. It never fails. And then as soon as this scene started, I was like, oh my God, it's this outfit. I saw Nate entering the Empire with a basketball and got immediately excited,
Man.
even though I couldn't even see Chuck yet. And then, so Nate walks in with his basketball, clearly having just played some ball. And in behind him walks Chuck in the greatest outfit the show has ever seen.
What even is this? It's a onesie. He's wearing a
Onesie.
onesie.
I'm a little
Yeah.
disappointed, though, I'll be honest. I was waiting to see him turn around and see a butt flap. There's no butt flap.
No butt flap, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's talking about how Andrew Tyler hasn't tracked down Elizabeth yet, and he is wearing that red onesie. Cutest thing I've ever seen. He's even got the red hood over his head. He's got his Nike basketball sneakers on. If I ever play basketball again, this is what I'm playing in.
You gotta go with that.
I'm gonna find it.
It's one of those first person things that like it just looks so bizarre that it's like, well, that person's gotta be rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when he's not wearing that, he's wearing a suit. Like, he doesn't wear
Right.
anything else. And I don't know how he's ever comfortable.
Do you think
I
this is
guess
his
you just get-
post-coitus outfit too?
The red one.
No,
Or-
he wears a
or
big
he goes-
fluffy robe.
I was gonna say he goes
after-
back to the suit as soon as he's done.
Yeah.
Um,
You know he like actually has sex in a suit though.
Yeah, for sure.
would not be
Yeah.
surprised. Yeah.
His sex suit.
Yeah. Yes.
He changes into another suit to have sex.
Almost identical.
So, Chuck is going to head down to the spa while Andrew Tyler continues trying to find the woman who he now knows to be his mother. And then Nate's also going to go back to the office to, because Diana Payne is finally making an appearance today. He seems optimistic. They won't have anything to fight about. We'll see about that. And Nate insists that, professionally, he and Diana have always worked well together. Chuck asks what Lola thinks about all this, and Nate, of course, has not told Lola that he's working with his ex of, 25 years his senior.
It'll all work out fine.
Poor decisions always being
But
made.
yeah, whenever Nate's optimistic, you know it's not going to go that way.
He's such a big dummy.
He really is stupid. And I don't understand how he's like running this company. I know it's like nepotism and everything, but also how is it not died or failed?
Well,
or
it's
something?
dying. We saw
Yeah, at
last
least we're
episode.
starting to find out that it is dying. He needs a financial
Yeah.
backer because apparently advertisers are leaving. They're like,
Yeah, the
this
advertisers.
21-year-old kid doesn't know
Yeah.
what he's. Yeah, exactly.
And he must be stressed too because this might be one of his worst hair days on the series.
Wow. Well, he's dealing with his fat.
It was yeah. All right, well, it's true.
The
ugliness travels up. He really it looked like he had bedhead the entire episode.
Yeah. Well,
It's bad.
you are always on Hair Watch, and
I am always
know,
on Hair Watch.
Nate usually isn't the target, but I'm glad he's.
Have you
He's
talked
getting.
about how yellow Serena's hair is? Because it's
Especially
very
I'm sure
it's very
I'm sure it's come up.
yellow.
The audacity as a brunette to talk about a blonde's hair is so rude.
Your hair looks great. Serena's hair
Yours is the correct
is
color yellow.
far too straw colored.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a
Okay,
warm
okay.
blonde.
I don't mind it, but I could see your point of view, and I'm angry too.
Thank you.
It's Serena. I'm angry. So, and another thing, your hair's a little too yellow. Nate's plan is that once he gets the lay of the land with Diana, he'll tell Lola everything. Chuck wants Nate not to be surprised if he ends up with an angry ex-girlfriend and a tattoo of a kangaroo. Chuck kept going back to this story where he slept with a women's softball team in Australia and got a tattoo of a kangaroo or something. I don't know what he was talking about, but
They showed him.
I couldn't take my eyes off the onesie. That's probably why I couldn't pay attention. Blair is reading her divorce papers, and Serena comes in to congratulate her. She asks how she's going to spend her first day as single Blair, and Serena takes the hint that Blair is going to spend it with Dan probably, and she claims to be happy for Blair. I'm not buying it, though.
I don't know what this hint was. It was weird. Like Blair just didn't say anything. She's like, "Oh, Dan,
Yeah.
I get it."
Oh, Dan, okay. Yes. And then Blair immediately gets a Gossip Girl blast about her divorce coming through and is surprised that Gossip Girl knows everything so fast. And Serena's like, oh, yeah, someone's probably, staked outside the building. Serena talks such a big game about Gossip Girl and how terrible she is and how she's literally reporting her best friend's divorce business as Gossip Girl. Like, what the
And what does she get? What does she have to gain about this? I don't understand this. She's not making money.
No.
Okay. So she's been handed the Gossip Girl reins from Georgina, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
something that she
How did-
tried to throw away like 10 episodes ago. She's like, "Oh, I don't want this
Okay.
power."
Yeah, okay. So now she is doing it. And was she like her original thought was like, I'm gonna shut this whole thing down, right? Because Serena would love to be the like righteous hero.
That's what
Yes.
it was
end
initially. Yeah.
the horrors of Gossip Girl. And then it just gets too tempting because she gets tips that's coming in. But you're right. Like, what is she to gain from outing all of her friends aside from just like making sure Gossip Girl's still up and running, therefore relevant?
Yeah. I don't know. The other
It's just
episode,
so-
she was talking about how she's sick of goodbyes. And I guess this is the answer. I don't know.
Well, I'm
mean,
sick of
it's-
Serena.
Serena's world, and we're just living in it.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
And this is when Serena's like, oh, ever since the real Gossip Girl's been back, I've barely been mentioned. Well done, Serena. Not suspicious at all. That was perfect. I thought she was going to be like, oh, since the real Gossip Girl's been back, she's been really like different, just like really good at writing,
Yeah,
a lot more
really
fair and
intelligent.
nice. I think Gossip Girl's the good guy now, if you think about it. We love Gossip Girl, I think.
Yeah. The other thing
Yeah,
I'm starting to... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I love how she's like, ugh, why are people talking about me all the time? And Blair's just like, because you're literally about to be a lingerie model for a lingerie named after you.
Serena.
Oh, I guess you're right.
I am cool.
But yeah, the only logical thing that to me that would make sense is that since she just got fired by Nate, she's now trying to just be the opposition again. Like, oh, you know what? I'll make Gossip Girl big again to oppose.
Oh, she's
Spectator.
getting her revenge on the Spectator.
Yeah.
That
She
could be
misses
it.
S by Serena, the best
S
column.
by S, baby.
One of the best columns out there.
The
The
best
most popular column in all
literary-
of New York.
Sure. Sure.
Brendan, should I get you some Serena Vanderwoodson lingerie for your birthday this year?
Hey, I want you to assume like how Blair and Serena do with each other.
Okay, I'm taking the hint.
Take the hint.
The answer
Of course.
Taking the
is
hint. You wear it for Dan
right
tonight. So Serena asked for ideas on how to get herself on Gossip Girl's list because she's ready to move on with her life. I don't believe her, but she pretends she's above all of this, but she craves it. I feel like season 1 Serena was like actually above it all, and since then she's just been like descending into madness.
Yeah, it's true. She's got nothing else going on.
I mean, yeah.
So-
I mean, you know how like Jess earlier was talking about like the good guy mentality? Like Serena has the same thing, but as like, I'm the good girl. Like I'm above it all. Like I'm sweet. Like I'm I do philanthropy, you know, like I'm a reformed bad girl, like all this stuff. And she's always had like this false sense of like bravado that like she thinks that she's better than everybody else. And it's infuriating.
She's always like, I love my family. Family's the thing that's most important to me. So now I'm just going to use my cousin all episode and get pissed when she uses
Get
me.
mad.
It's her cousin of like a week and a half. Like it's not a real cousin.
Yeah.
Like at this point,
True.
Ivy's more of her cousin than this.
I
rando.
I wanted to be her cousin at least.
Yeah. So Blair tells Serena she needs to find a new it girl, and then that it girl needs to have a defining moment. Serena didn't become Serena until she got naked on that aircraft carrier. How have we not heard of this before?
In a white, wet dress.
A white, wet dress, and a photo landed on Gossip Girl, and the rest was history.
Like,
They need another moment like that.
Things where they mention like an awesome scene that never happened. Like, can we just start like seeing that show that you guys are talking about?
Wait, does it have to start being like a Family Guy where like they mention something
Yeah.
and then it's like a flashback?
I'm not for that.
towards-
Let's try it in season 6.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 12 episodes. Like it's a great time to just like try something.
Why not?
Chuck's like, you think that's bad? Remember the time I slept with the Australian women's softball team and got that tattoo of the kangaroo?
That
And
would
then
be good.
flash to a
Thank
tattoo
God.
artist doing a kangaroo in the ass.
So Lola is walking on the sidewalk with someone we've never seen before, and she's just like, they don't explain this man until like Nate comes into the picture. So there's a whole first part of the scene. She's just walking with this guy and telling him like what's been going on with her. I'm like,
Arm
who
in
the
arm,
fuck
too.
is this? Yeah, arm in arm. Like, who the fuck is this man?
I thought I missed an episode.
Oops, must
It's
have skipped one.
a respectable 16-year-old boy, of course.
That goes to Juilliard?
What?
What? I don't know.
Why, no, he's looking at Juilliard.
Oh.
That man
I don't know why
is
she's friends with a
35.
16-year-old boy. Yeah, I don't know.
It's once we get the reveal of how old he is, it's crazy that Lola pushed him onto Diana Payne.
Yes, seriously.
It's crazy that she's friends with it. Because how old is Lola? 19, 20? I don't know how old
I
Lola's
figured
college
she'd
age.
be the rest of them.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's like maybe like a year younger. Right. So, and this is when they see Nate like walking perpendicularly to them on the sidewalk, and Lola's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" I feel like Nate definitely just got lost at some point, and he's just been wandering the streets, like Carter Bazin used to do. Remember, Carter Bazin never had a place to go. He was just
who I run into.
always walking the streets.
Nate?
Nate's doing the same thing now.
Nate's the kind of guy that even though he's lived in the city all of his life, when he gets off the subway, he always goes the wrong direction first before having to switch to the other direction. It never fails.
I feel like he just
Yes.
dropped something and then it got blown by the wind and he chased it for a while and then just ended up somewhere he didn't know where he was.
Tongue fully out of his mouth.
It looked like he was in a hurry for some reason. But so so she introduces Aiden. This is her friend from that she went to acting camp with, and he is looking at
His
Juilliard.
counselor?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But Nate's like, oh, you guys were arm in arm. And Lola's like, listen, I've never mentioned it before. Stop being jealous. Like, it's fine. It's just Aiden. And Nate cannot play hooky with her, though, because he has to meet with the new investor. And she's like, oh, yeah, what's her name? Diana Payne? And Nate's like, yeah, I know nothing about her. But I just
Nothing.
know that
Didn't
she
date her.
doesn't like...
Love you. Bye.
Nope, didn't date her. Know nothing about her. I just know that she doesn't like people who are late. So see ya.
That checks
Lola
out.
immediately searches Diane Payne on Gossip Girl, which she may not have known about Gossip Girl till last week, but now she knows all the tricks.
I don't understand why any of these people who like routinely get written about by Gossip Girl are like, I can keep a secret for a day.
Mm-hmm.
How did Nate think he could get away with this?
Well, Nate's like, well, she doesn't use Gossip Girl. She's not like that. Like, well, she can just Google something.
As soon as you bring her into your orbit, she's going to be like that.
Yeah, exactly. Dan and Blair are having breakfast. They're going over their plan for the perfect day, but something is wrong with Blair here. She's all of a sudden lying that the seal is missing on the divorce papers. She doesn't want Louis to get her on a technicality. They can't spend the day here either because Serena's here. They don't want to throw that in her face. So, maybe they can, maybe she'll call him later. And Blair gets up to leave, and Dorota suspiciously picks up the divorce papers off of the table that Blair, I guess, just left there. And she tells Dan that they're song lyrics. She and Vanya love karaoke.
Dorota is an MVP. Dorota is my favorite character, and it's not close. And she gets treated like trash so much of the time.
It's true.
Yeah.
But the audience loves her. 100% approval rating
easily.
for Dorota.
Yeah.
What do you think that Dorota and Vanya's go-to karaoke song is that they have the lyrics to?
I don't know. Sandstorm.
Oh, I love Sandstorm.
They needed to print out the lyrics to Sandstorm.
I was going
That's
to
how
say
Dan
like
was able to catch
99
on.
left balloons. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
The
She
Goldfinger
seems
version.
like a Toto's Africa to me.
Oh, that'd be fine. So Dan leans forward and tells Dorota they both know something's going on here, so why don't you just leave the song lyrics on the table and step out of the room for a moment? You won't see a thing. This was a very new side of Dan. He was like, it's I don't know.
Dorota
I don't know.
was
Blair
intimidated,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, he was intimidating right here. Dorota obeys, but only because she's worried. And Dan looks at the divorce papers. They have the royal seal on them. They have not been signed yet. What is Blair waiting for?
She
The
loves Louis,
dumbest
obviously. He's a great
reason
guy.
Ever. Just
She didn't want to close that chapter.
I want to be
Yeah,
a
that's such bullshit.
princess.
This is the
I
season
wanna
of like
be a
dumb Blair
princess.
reasons for not doing things. I hate it.
She tried so hard to get out of this marriage and like didn't even want
It's
to
right
be
in front
in
of
the
her.
first place. And now she's like, but I want to be a princess.
They can't divorce without a tiara.
So dumb.
Diana Payne is back, and Nate walks into his office, which is now her office, and she's just like, "You didn't really think you'd have to keep your office, did you?" Which, what an entrance!
I like
only
Diana
but she's
Payne.
she's like, "You'll love your new cubicle." Which is
Power move and a half.
so much for the great working relationship. I do love the move of just waltzing in and taking the boss's office.
Mine now.
Man, I should
Real
try
Nelly
that.
move in The Office.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The latter seasons of The Office, which
Right back to,
everyone
classic
remembers so
episodes.
fondly. Everyone loves season 8 of The Office.
Ugh.
Everyone's favorite.
Thumbs up.
Serena is doing her research on who can be the new It Girl, and by that I mean she's reading magazines and circling the girls in the pictures with highlighters. And
This is real serial killer energy. I was scared.
She got her J14 out and started circling.
Ooh, she's got a good face. She can be a gossip. She can be an It Girl.
Sitting in an office, circling faces of girls in a magazine.
Times have been
job.
tough since Serena got
Yeah.
fired.
Coincidentally, I was circling Serena's yellow corn hair on my TV screen.
Thank you.
So
See, and
Lola-
conversely, Lola's hair looks great.
Lola's hair does look great.
It looks good.
She does have great hair. Lola comes in and tells Serena she just found out that the new Spectator investor is Diana Payne, and which is Nate's ex-girlfriend that he totally lied to her about, and she doesn't know what to do. So Serena looks down at her coloring magazine and has an epiphany. She tells Lola she's really glad she came to her because she knows exactly what to do. Serena has found her mark, and she doesn't care that it's her cousin because she doesn't actually care about family all that much, just how she can use them to her advantage.
Oh, absolutely. And then turn it around on her and be like, you use me.
I thought that was part of her plan too, but like, oh wait, no, you're actually hurting because you are a lunatic.
Let's go back to the Spectator. Nate tries to tell Diana to get out of his office, but Diana claims that being an investor entitles her to an office, and she chooses this one. And Nate's like, actually, being an investor means you don't need to be here, so I don't know why you're here. And Diana's like, listen, you think investors are going to want to do business with a kid now that I'm back in town? And Nate's like, we haven't had a problem so far, but Diana's done her research. Advertising is down. And again, at least they're making it more realistic now that making a 21-year-old kid in charge of the company wasn't the best idea in the world, maybe.
Yeah, I guess that's nice. I still wish that this wasn't like a main storyline for this entire season. I don't,
Well,
but
it was going
here
to
we
get the
are.
office.
Yeah.
So Diana understands that sex sells. So she is co-hosting the Down to Your Skivvies party tonight.
Oh,
and
yeah.
after tonight, everyone will be talking about how she's back and Nate's days are numbered. Nothing works quite like a Down to Your Skivvies party.
Can't wait for
I'm
my 30th
so-
birthday.
I'm so excited for this. I love a down to your skivvies party. I go
Only
to one
on
every
Gossip Girl.
weekend.
Only on Gossip Girl is this.
No.
I wish we could have seen people getting the invitation and just being like, what the fuck? What is
What are
this?
skivvies?
You know, that
Nate
makes you
scoffs.
sound more
He's-
like a boomer than saying down to your skivvies.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nate-
really, it's just a frat party, right? Like you've
Pretty
heard
much.
like a panty party.
Yeah,
for
right,
at
right.
Just call it a
fraternities.
kegger. Call it what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
So Nate scoffs. He's like, you can't do a Spectator party without me. The advertisers are going to want to see me there. So Nate invites himself to the party. He'll be bringing his girlfriend, Lola, is much younger than his last girlfriend, Lola. And Diana tells Nate to enjoy his last day in the office. And this is the
This is
conflict.
goodbye.
This is good. This is goodbye.
I'm so pressed and worried about Nate's career as a
Yeah,
journalist.
yeah, me too.
as a
Aren't we
as a
all?
nepo baby editor in chief.
See, Diana Payne has so much leverage here because when she finds out that Lola is not like 40 plus, she's like, "Oh, well, that's not gonna last, Nate. You're gonna come crawling back to my old
Fine.
ass."
It's fine.
Yes. Can't wait to find out who next season's old woman of the
How old can we get?
of
Really,
the
is what
season
I
is
want
for Nate. Lily and
I know
Rufus
I
are.
wasn't supposed to
Go on.
spoil you, but
Oh.
Betty White's actually
Mhm.
the guest star
Oh.
next season.
And she's Gossip
her
Girl
last
too.
It was her last television role. Nate's lover.
Absolutely.
Oh no.
Poor lady.
She plays herself too. Nate's just like, I just Betty got the Down to Your Skivvies party and love at first sight.
The golden Gossip
Lil-
Girl.
Lily and Rufus are in Lily's favorite place, the loft, and Lily wants to do anything except for stay in the loft. She's like, "Oh, we can have lunch at this place. We can go shopping at Barney's." She's so desperate. She's like 1 second away from being like, "Come on, Rufus, I'll let you wear your green puffy jacket. Anything? Can we let's get out of
I mean, to
this?"
be fair, she
loft,
was on
please."
house arrest for a while, so
Yeah,
she
she
really doesn't
was.
want to be
Yeah.
quarantined anymore.
No. And Rufus is like, actually, I just came back from the city. So I guess Lily just didn't notice he was gone all morning. And it turns out Rufus went to see Ivy and asked her if she'd be willing to move out of the apartment if they unfroze the assets. At first, Lily is like, why would you? We don't negotiate with terrorists. Why would you go to her without me? But then Rufus is like, well, she agreed to it. And Lily's like, Rufus, my hero.
Yeah, it's a good plan.
Can't wait to screw her over.
Feel bad when
I don't know how she does it. I don't know how this plan works. Because for me, if I was like left a penthouse and they were like, okay, leave the penthouse and you'll get money, and I left and they didn't give me money, I'd just go back to the penthouse. I don't know.
I think
Did
they
the
maybe
door
just
lock
locked
behind her?
They probably changed the locks. They're rich.
As soon as
Yeah,
she left,
yeah.
they just maybe they. I guess that's what it would have to be. Like as soon as she
Yeah.
left, they just changed all the locks.
Yeah.
Maybe she just advised the doorman to tackle her if she came anywhere near the building.
That's what I mean. I was gonna say I feel bad that like she just got shafted like this and we didn't even get to see her.
I know we didn't see her at all in the episode. And you can't trust the doorman in this show because they're all working for Georgina apparently.
Ivy works harder than anyone has ever worked on this show at keeping her identity a secret for so freaking long. No one worked
Ugh.
harder than Ivy.
Yeah.
It's so true, and it all came crumbling down, unfortunately. So Lily doesn't think she can live with the fact. She's like, oh, this is great, but you know, she's still gonna have my mother's money. And Rufus points out that you have enough money for you and your kids and your grandkids to all live comfortably for the rest of your life. So who cares? And I mean, honestly, it does seem like the most fair deal for everyone involved. Like Ivy gets what was rightfully left for her by Cece,
Right.
and Lily doesn't get kicked out of her house.
And Lily had her money is from Bart Bass, so Bart Bass's money alone is more money than you
She's
could
got-
ever need.
True.
She's got
Well,
Billy
very true.
Vanderwoodson money. She's got
Oh,
Bart
yeah.
Bass money.
Yeah.
So much money.
She's fine.
And it's one of those things where she's getting like however much money off of just the interest alone in these accounts, like
Yeah.
to live
Yeah.
off of forever.
And she's got Rufus money.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's got
forget.
Rufus debt. That's why.
She has Rufus's Campbell's chicken soup can.
Yep, she's got all the waffles that he's left her.
Yeah.
Waffle specialist.
And then Mel got served will be very happy to know that Andrew Tyler is back, and he tells
he's main
Chuck,
cast, baby.
"Oh man, he is in his element this episode. He is PIing all over the place." He he tells Chuck that his mother's been in Vienna for the past 6 months. At first, I was like, I'm happy that she doesn't like come back. I was like, are we doing another Elizabeth storyline? Like now we're just going back to plots that we didn't even enjoy the first time around.
But is
So
this
I'm happy
like better that she's not here? Because now it's just like, no, she's not your mother. Someone else is. Like, okay. This is still kind of like what they did last time, where they just
All right,
kept saying yes and
yeah,
no.
you're right. Well, I'm exhausted. Just tell me who the mother. Why don't you just tell me who the mother is?
Well, the issue is that you need an 8-season show for that. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
also set in New York.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. So Andrew has an address and a mobile number, hasn't made contact yet. Chuck isn't sure how to proceed because the woman clearly doesn't want to be found. And he mentions that she was harder to find than a fugitive. So good for AT on this one. Really, he's tracking these
never
people down that are
fails.
hard to. Yeah, he never fails.
Never.
Even when we thought he failed with Charlie Rhodes, he actually found the right Charlie Rhodes.
That's how good he is.
So- Andrew Tyler tells Chuck, maybe you need a friend more than a private investigator. And I feel you're lonely when your PI starts saying things like that.
I think we should have swapped out friend for therapist, though.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
saw what happened when
No,
Chuck
yeah,
tried to have a therapist.
I was surprised he didn't try to
so-
fuck Andrew Tyler right there. Giving me advice for my life? Come here, big boy.
So, he asks if there's anyone who got to know Elizabeth the last time she was here, and maybe Chuck should talk to them to figure out what he wants. And Chuck says the one person who was there the whole way through is the one person who isn't in my life anymore. And then just in case anyone was lost as to who that is, he goes, Blair Waldorf. Dan
Thank
Humphrey.
goodness he clarified. I was
lost. I was like, who
I
is
was
this?
racking my brain.
Who do you need to talk to, Chuck? And then Andrew asks Chuck, then why'd you pay her dowry? And so Georgina didn't get Blair out of it, or Georgina went to Chuck. Like, was Georgina's big plan to just go to Chuck and be like, hey, can you pay it? Like, so many questions. I don't
Maybe
understand how
Georgina
this
was like,
happened.
hey, you can still pay it without telling her. You don't have to let her know. He's like, oh, good idea. I don't have to tell her that I pay the dowry.
Yes, that's a great plan.
I said, if this was
the
Georgina's
important-
doing, I still am excited to see what Blair will owe her in the future.
Yes. The important thing is that Blair doesn't know that Chuck did it, and he doesn't want her to ever find out. I like this
Again,
development.
how are you going to keep secrets on Gossip Girl,
Well,
Chuck?
Not gonna
Don't
work.
tell
Listen, Andrew
Nate.
Tyler
That's
already
how.
knows.
Don't tell Nate.
That's plan number one. Don't tell
Yeah.
Nate. I feel like I like this development a lot more than if Georgina just waved her magic wand and like got Blair out of it. At least this brings like some intrigue here, and maybe
Right.
get
And
a
it doesn't
Dan
come out of
picture
nowhere.
someday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Serena is meeting with the fashion people. They're so excited to be modeling for the Serena tonight. And Lola just wants some advice for Nate. She wants to know if she's overreacting. And Lola's not interested in competing with someone else, but Serena uses this as the perfect opportunity to manipulate her new favorite cousin and beloved family member. She's like, well, it's not even about competing. It's just, even if there was no Diana, your whole not wanting to be a part of his world thing, not a good idea, Part of being in a relationship is sharing each other's interests. And I was like, come on, Nate's interest is not being a fancy member of the Upper East Side. His interests are like basketball and video games and lacrosse or whatever.
Right.
Like,
I think that's why he was interested in her in the first place, too, is because he wanted to get away from these kind of women.
Wanted
Yeah.
more of a normal, grounded girl.
And
Yeah,
I
but
love how
Serena's-
he goes after Serena's cousin. Just like, diet Serena.
Yeah.
Serena's great advice for Lola is pretty much change yourself for your man, otherwise another girl will steal him from you. And
Hey,
she's like,
it's
"Oh, okay, you're so-"
the grease line of thinking.
It's the grease line of thinking. That's what they should name the episode. So Lola asks her new mentor what she should do, and Serena says, "Try this on." And it's not going to cost them anything because it's all on Tracy, one of the many perks of being the it girl. And Lola tries it on. Serena's, starting to turn her into the it girl. And then as soon as Lola tries on the dress, Serena sets off the fire alarm and grabs all of Lola's stuff. She's like, we got to get out of here. With
What a
Oscar incoming for
psycho.
Serena's performance.
She immediately grabs all of Lola's clothes as if that's not suspicious to do. Lola, please follow me out onto the New York City streets without your freaking jacket.
This is one
Honestly-
of like 3 times where I was like, what is happening?
Honestly, the only time I liked Serena this episode. She pulls the fire alarm, grabs all of Lola's stuff, and just runs out of there yelling. I was going to say, I guess if you're Serena Vanderwoodson, you don't get in trouble for this, but page 6 would have a field day with this if it was like Serena Vanderwoodson gets kicked out of store for pulling fire alarm for no reason.
Yeah. I don't. Can you help me figure out what this accomplished though? Like, wasn't the idea
okay. Brendan, I can explain this to you very
please.
succinctly. Blair said, "New it girl needs a moment, like when you
But
like
she
flashed
didn't get the
everyone on the
moment.
aircraft carrier."
The
She
moment didn't
had to
happen.
run out of the store in the fancy dress.
We didn't see footage of this
lingerie.
though.
In
Oh,
lingerie.
Yes. She had to
And
run
then
out
she
while she was.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, she
No,
winds
go
up
on.
at the firehouse and
Yes.
takes
Oh,
pictures
here I was
of
waiting. Okay,
a
that's
sexy
true.
fireman.
Right. I just not that I'm not saying I wanted to see what it looked like, but I'm just saying.
Oh, you want to see? So you want to see?
Interesting.
More Lola in lingerie.
I think a visual aid would have helped
Girls
a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
sorry, we don't have time. We don't have time for that.
I guess it would have looked very suspicious if Serena was like, "Oh shit, we gotta get out of here," and then it was like taking pictures and then like sending it to Gossip Girl herself. That's kind of what I thought she was trying to do.
She's already a bad actress. Don't try to put more on her.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Gossip
it
Girl
was-
is a thinker's show. You have to really be paying attention.
You truly do.
There's another what's happening moment coming up later, I'm sure, for me.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Can't wait to
there
get to it.
There was a second where I thought that the alarm was going off because she was stealing the clothes. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
supposed
at
to be
this
given
part-
to her.
Yeah.
I was like, this doesn't make sense, but
No.
I totally understand. She just, of course, it makes so much sense. She just had to pull the fire alarm and steal her clothes so that she could
Yeah,
get
if
an
I'm
embarrassing
Lola, my
picture.
first question, would have been, why did you like steal all of my stuff, Serena? Like,
Yeah,
why
can I
did you
have my
grab all
coat,
my stuff
please?
and run out with it, and then refuse to give it to me when we were
Right.
outside? Dan's confiding in his buddy Nate here, and now that he and Blair as a couple is a reality, he thinks Blair's freaking out about it because she hasn't signed the divorce papers still. And then Diana comes in and goes, the editor-in-chief is chit-chatting with his bro instead of working, which no notes on the line delivery there. Perfection. That was,
His bro.
Even Dan was like looking up and smirking at her like he found it amusing. Chit-chatting with his bro.
Dan's just happy to be called anybody's bro.
Yeah.
Anybody, yeah.
That's all Dan's been wanting for 5 seasons is
Yeah.
to be one of the bros.
Dan's the
To
kind of guy
chit-chat
that would
with
be
the
celebrating
bros.
his 30th birthday by himself in the gamer gang section of our
In the game-
Discord. That's a joke for us four. Nobody
Not even
else.
Sackmouth showed up to my party. That joke is really hitting in the room. So, Diana shows Nate the most recent dismal numbers, and Dan can't believe that Diana was the only investor Nate could find. And Nate's like, well, yeah, Chuck was going to step in, but, the timing was off and he wasn't liquid enough. Oh, shit, I've said too much.
Well, I don't get why he's trying to hide it though.
Oh, what's
It was
going
nice that he
on? Nate's like, wait, what are you talking about? And at first I was like, oh, does Nate know that Chuck paid the dowry? Or, is he just like, because I thought at first maybe he was like, oh yeah, I don't know what's going on, but Chuck said he couldn't pay, back me for whatever reason. But no, Nate was told about it. He's just spilling the beans already, first chance he gets.
Yeah, you gotta blame
Don't
Chuck
tell
here.
Nate anything. Nate
Yeah.
is such an idiot. Yes, he's he can be nice and he's semi good looking, but he's so stupid.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's not even bad. It's good. I don't know why Chuck wants to keep it quiet. And so, Nate finally agrees to tell Dan Chuck didn't have the money because he paid off Blair's dowry. And he says you didn't hear it from me, but who else would Dan have heard it from? Andrew Tyler? Andrew Tyler's not blabbing. Obviously, this came from Nate. So Dan thinks that Blair must have found out, and she didn't sign the papers because she's having second thoughts now. And Nate thinks that Chuck was just trying to do a nice thing for Blair. But Dan obviously
As soon as
does not
Dan
believe
runs
that.
out, Nate's probably like, "Oh, I see why I shouldn't have told him." I see
Oh,
it.
I get why that was a secret now.
Damn, scene's bad.
Okay.
I'm just glad that he figures it out eventually.
Yeah.
He calls up Chuck. He's like, Chuck, I get why you didn't want me to tell Dan. I told him, but I get why you didn't want me to. All right, buddy. I'll see you later.
We're bros, right? We're bros.
So, speaking of Blair, Dorota confronts her and asks why she's lying to Blair or to Dan. And Blair responds by telling Dorota if she sneaks up on her again, she's going to make her start wearing a bell, which would be funny.
This is why I'm against Blair, is simply for her treatment of Dorota.
It's playful. They love it.
Dorota loves it. She eats it up.
Life. Yeah.
He is.
I need some researchers on this. I swear this is not the first time that Blair has made that comment to Dorota.
Oh, probably. She probably says this daily.
Almost the exact same line. I think they're recycling lines now.
It's her new catchphrase, yeah. So, Blair, Dorota's not going to stop till she gets answers. Blair said she's going to do it. She just needs more time. It makes no sense, but she feels like once she signs those papers, she's closing the door on something she's not ready to let go of. And as soon as she says that, the elevator door opens to reveal Chuck Bass. And it seemed like she was implying that she wasn't over Chuck, which
the show is implying that with his
you.
Appearance, I guess.
Yeah, but then at the end of the episode, it's like, no, I just wanted to wear a tiara.
I just wanted to do the bippity boppity boo
That's all I wanted
at Disney.
Yeah,
I want to be a little princess.
Either way, it doesn't make sense either way. Because even if it was like, well, I'm afraid to close the door on Chuck. Well, like, what does that have to do with your divorce?
Yeah, I don't.
What does either one? Yeah.
So, Lola is reading about herself on Gossip Girl. She is reacting to everyone on the internet being able to see this picture of her. Serena couldn't care less, though. She's like, this is exactly what we wanted. Between this photo and the news of her being the real Charlie Rhodes, everyone will be talking about her. And so Serena also gets an email from Tracy, who's very taken with Lola. She wants her to model for her, and she will not take no for an answer. Even though Lola has no modeling experience, I guess this picture was just such a beautiful picture of
it's impossible.
Lola.
Can you imagine like this happened to you? This whole fire extinguisher thing.
I can't stop imagining.
You were
this
probably like
happening
covering yourself up and like running away, like covering your crotch. I don't think that's like a sexy pose, like waddling around crotch covering.
You think that if someone saw a picture of me covering my crotch, they wouldn't immediately email my cousin and say, "I need them to model."
That's a good point. The way you cover crotch is like nobody else.
You know what this reminds me of? Such a typical America's Next Top Model challenge.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
Now I need to watch America's Next Top Model.
Have you never seen America's Next Top
Model?
No,
I've never seen it.
It is such a train wreck of epic proportions. It's iconic. Oh, yeah.
It is a gift upon gifts.
If I ever have some free time,
we were all rooting for you.
Now that I know.
That's an iconic quote. Yeah.
It's the iconic quote.
Yeah, I still have. Hey, you know what? If you want to watch America's Top Model, I have the DVDs that I can lend you.
Oh, nice.
There's Netflix coming in clutch again.
Dude, we do love physical media.
I am, yeah. Such a good time. Yeah. So, I guess it's just so irresistible to see yourself on Gossip Girl. I guess.
Yeah. So Serena excitedly relays this information to Lola, but Lola is less than thrilled about it. Serena convinces her by bringing Nate into it and being like, think of how awesome this will be, and like Diana's going to be there as well. And Lola is like, I should probably just not jump to conclusions and maybe just talk to Nate, which great instinct by Lola. But at that moment, Gossip Girl, aka Serena, gets a tip from the middle-aged Diana Payne saying, Nate and Diana going to KDM party tonight as a couple. Please send a blast. Thanks. Diana's so embarrassing as well. Like, what, Diana, you're 50 years old. Why are you sending tips to Gossip Girl?
This bitch should be joining the Needlepoint Club. Like for real. Stop sending stuff into the Gossip Girl.
Come on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I also don't think this is something that like the normal Gossip Girl would send in, because it's clearly like self-serving for Diana, sent by Diana.
And this is the same woman who like only dates 20-year-old like boy toys.
Under. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like come on. Diana has a lot more wrong with her, you know? She needs therapy. They all need therapy.
She definitely needs
really
therapy.
But I think she knows it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Serena, of course, sends the blast because, Gossip Girl is a good thing now as long as it helps Serena. And she pretends to be reading the Gossip Girl blast for the first time and brings it to Lola's attention.
My favorite is she's like typing, and then immediately gets the blast, and she's like, "Oh, look!"
He's like, what's this?
What's this?
A Gossip Girl blast?
You should probably check your phone now.
It's like, did that just pop up after you went to a separate computer to type something? No, I don't think so.
This episode or the one before that where she was like, oh, she says to Nate, like, oh, did you see, it was the episode before
Last
this. Did you
week,
see
yeah.
that Gossip Girl blast? And he's like, no. And then she's like, oh, I have to hit send.
And she's like, oh, I just got it, so you'll probably get it soon. Like, oh, Serena's
like,
the first
okay.
one. Serena's the first one that gets Gossip Girl blast.
Thanks for the heads up, Serena.
Okay.
Submit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I couldn't.
My phone usually gets blasted a little after you. That makes sense.
No, it's like he has it on energy saving mode, so he has to like pull it down to refresh.
Yeah.
Yep. He's like,
It
oh, it's
doesn't
probably
do
because I team
automatic.
double. That's probably why. I don't get my blast.
He's got it
at
on
the same
single
time as
flush,
everyone
not the
else.
double flush.
Chuck and Blair. Chuck has gone to Blair with all of his mother stuff, and now that he has found out that his mother did an extraordinary thing for him, is it wrong that he's changing how he feels about her? Which, kind of a coincidence that it's paralleling that Chuck did an amazing thing for Blair, and maybe her opinion of him is going to change. So Blair doesn't think it's wrong, but also doesn't understand what he wants from her, and Chuck just answers that he just needs someone who understands. And, I get it, Chuck. I believe Chuck that he just wanted a friend in this moment. Well, yeah, I guess he could go to a therapist.
I believe him a little bit too.
He has the PI, Jessica.
Yeah, what else?
Therapist.
Needs a therapist.
So pay for 2 therapists? That'd be crazy.
Seems like a waste
And
of
so-
money at that point.
And he's not liquid right now. He's got no money.
He's not liquid.
So Blair claims that Chuck is not coming to her as a friend. She says he's working his way into her life and using his mother to do it. That's not how I viewed it, but all right. And
I mean, he ends
Chuck
up agreeing,
looks-
though. He's like, you're probably right. I think it was subconscious.
He does agree. He's very disappointed, but Blair apologizes for sounding harsh, but she points out that they've never been friends. There's always been an agenda, and she asks if she's wrong, and Chuck's like, no, you're right. And so he gets up and leaves the conversation. He runs into Serena on the way out, and before we get into this, I'm feeling for Chuck here. I say poor Chuck. I wanted him to have this nice conversation. I always love a good Chuck and Blair scene, and Blair really cut this one short.
Yeah, and then it gets shoved to Serena, who, like, annoyingly gives Chuck what he needs. I'm like, oh, come on. Blair could have said that exact thing.
Yeah.
Uncharacteristically, actually gave him some advice that wasn't like just self-serving to her.
I thought it was going to be for a second. I was like, oh, what is she going to blast this out to about Chuck's mom? Or doesn't she?
What would help you get in contact with your mom if Lola was the it girl? I'm not sure I'd follow, but okay.
Here, Chuck, wear this lingerie.
Here, wear this lingerie. I'll pull the fire alarm.
She's got one move.
There's no way your mother won't call you after this.
This is Chuck's horse ride for Serena.
Exactly. Serena had to ride a horse to get her dad's attention. Chuck has to wear lingerie.
As somebody that also has mommy issues, I absolutely empathize with Chuck. And I do want him to reconnect with his mom. And I think that the advice that Serena gives is pretty good. Like, take the risk, at least you can say that you did it. But also then she also talks about how she values family more than anything. And then she treats her cousin for a week and a half like
She's got the right
disposable
ideas, just doesn't
trash.
practice them well.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true,
Now,
that's
if you'll
true.
excuse me, I need to go use and abuse my little cousin. No, but yeah, Serena's very direct. She's like, if you're asking me, I say do it. I mean, I know it's scary, but when it comes to reconnecting with your family, it's worth the risk. And so Chuck hears her advice and thanks her. A rare good moment for Serena where, like we said, she wasn't actually trying to help herself here. She was trying to help someone else.
I'm
and
almost
Lola
annoyed that she
are
had this
argu-
good moment
oh.
because this has been one of my least favorite Serena episodes of all time.
Of all
so the
time,
fact that
yeah.
she has any like little positives, like I wish it could just be a full train wreck for her.
Make her the villain. Give
Yeah.
it like just the complete Serena villain episode.
Yep.
Yeah, but her necklace is big and her hair is yellow, so she's still
She's
a
losing
villain.
at life
hair.
anyway.
Yeah, I'm starting to think her hair it's like piss yellow. The more I think about it,
So sorry.
it's like kind
I
of like
feel
piss.
like I broke the glass for you, like shattered it. So now all you see
Yeah.
is the yellow
Every time you
hair.
say Serena, like it smells like piss in this room.
Oh, was it always like that, or is it just this
Yeah.
episode?
I know it's been like that for a while. I've watched a lot of
This
Gossip
room has
Girl
been like that for
recently.
a while.
I was gonna say, I thought you were asking has Brendan's room smelled like piss for a while.
It's been like that since I moved in.
To be fair, Brendan, hasn't your room always smelled like that?
Kind of wherever I go.
And now you're just using Serena as a convenient excuse.
Because I don't think her hair now looks too yellow.
Oh, you mean like in real
Um,
life?
Yeah.
Well, after I
This was so long ago. Blake Lively has so much money. She gets her hair done
Every day.
So, yeah, every day. She's
So
fine.
much money then. She has so much money always.
Yeah, but
She was
maybe
in
on the show they were like Serena or Blake
No.
Lively. Your hair must be yellow.
Your hair
No.
has to be yellow.
No, she
It has to be
her-
that opposite of Blair's brown hair.
Oh yeah.
They
Just
circled her
Serena.
picture in a magazine, colored it in with a highlighter, and said, "Your hair has to be this color."
Terrible. Poor Serena.
It's just Serena. Who cares?
Yeah.
So Nate and Lola are arguing about Diana, of course. Nothing's going on with Diana, despite what Gossip Girl says. But she has made it clear that she's determined to push Nate out, and the last thing he needs is a fight at the office with his girlfriend. Also, when I was watching this, my mom came into the room, and she saw the scene, and she immediately said, "Oh, this was Nate's fat lip phase." So she saw the fat lip right away.
I
Brendan.
forgot about
You-
it again until you mentioned it today.
Yeah, I don't think about it until someone points it out, like
Yeah.
Lola pointed out last episode, and my mom pointed it out this episode. But yeah, he's still in his fat
I
lip
guess
era.
I'm not a lip boy. I'm more of a hair boy.
That's what
Is
it is.
it-
Yeah.
Is it filler?
No,
Or is
no.
that-
He,
is it a
according to the IMDb trivia from last week, he got a fat lip because he and Leighton Meester were play fighting on set.
Suspicious.
So
A
yes,
little
yes.
bit,
I don't know.
The more you say it, sounds bad.
Play
You never play
fighting on
fighted with,
set.
you never play fighted with your coworkers?
Lade meets her beat the shit out of Nate.
When IMDb interviews
your lines.
play fighting,
That bitch
was
was,
where that came from.
she was born in a
Fat lip.
prison. She can fight.
She was,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So, Dan gets a Gossip Girl blast. Spotted Chuck Bass leaving bees, divorce in the morning and Chuck in the afternoon. And Dan calls Blair right away and asks if there's anything she wants to tell him. And she's like, "Oh, listen, you don't owe me an explanation, but like if Chuck was gonna pay your dowry, like I don't know why you didn't tell me about it." And Blair did not know this, so she tells him that she thought it was Georgina, so now she needs to go and talk to Chuck. And Dan may have just dug his own grave.
Yeah, I think after this phone call, he just goes, whoops.
Oopsie. Shouldn't
Yeah,
have
this
said
is
that.
like a really. I mean, honest to God, half the time Dan is trying to do things to woo Blair. He's like further pushing her into Chuck's arms,
Yep.
and it's just ridiculous. It's like,
Yeah.
first of all, Dan, you should just know that like we all know Blair and Chuck are OTP. You know what I mean? Like it's chair, not dare. So you're
Yeah.
gonna need to just get on board with that and just go back to Brooklyn or wherever the hell you live that everyone hates so much. Probably get a haircut because your hair is starting to look really bad, like actively really bad.
Getting pretty long.
It's
Yeah,
getting
it's a
long
little
and greasy
fluffy.
looking.
Mm.
It's not a good look.
Yeah, it's borderline bad. I say it's not all the way bad yet, but it's pretty
He's
close.
taking cues from
Borderline.
Rufus, who needs to get
Oh.
a haircut for an adult man.
Yeah,
Well,
I'd say
yeah.
he'd be in a if he's wearing a hat, it would be backwards at the moment. That legs.
Very interesting way of putting that, yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rufus, he gets a call from Ivy Dickens' lawyer, and he's like, "Yeah, so my client said there was a cashier's check waiting for her." And Rufus is like, Yup, we unfroze the assets. And she's like, "Yeah, she thought so too. So she packed up, got her keys, went to the bank, and then she got to the bank. They had no idea what she was talking about. And then I guess she turned around and the doors were locked already. So I don't know what's going on there. She's just kind of waiting out on the street right now with nowhere to live. And yeah, I guess the locks are already changed, and she doesn't have any of the checks to show for it. I wouldn't have left until I had that money in my bank account. I don't know why she
Yeah.
You shouldn't
had
have
to
packed
physically
stuff.
leave to. Yeah.
On the bright side for her, I guess once this does go to court, she very well could and probably will get her the money that she's owed.
I hope this goes courtroom drama.
And like I understand why Lily is like, oh, it's not your money, blah blah blah. But like in the will, it said Ivy, like it said her
did?
real name.
Right.
So that should be proof enough that Grandma knew
Yeah.
who she actually was and was like, I don't really
Exactly.
care. She's a nice girl who took care of me when I was dying. Here's some money.
She's the only person who talked to me in the last 2 months of my life, family or not.
Right. Yeah, I guess I
How are
still.
you, Serena, when you care so much about your family, Serena?
Very, very good point.
How dare Cece die? She could have been the new It girl.
Buries her in lingerie.
Serena finds her picture in a magazine and just puts an X through it in highlighter.
Draws a little skull and crossbones next to it.
I bet if Essie ever sees a picture of CC, she's covering it up like this. Every time.
I wonder how Essie's doing. I hope her and Louie are doing great.
I hope they're doing whatever in the morning and chucking in the afternoon too.
So Diana drops by Nate's office. She couldn't help but overhear his lover's spat. So she has an idea. She wants to go to the party together with Nate. And Nate's like, yeah, I appreciate the olive branch, but I don't understand how going to the party with you tonight makes any sense. And she's like, what's the risk? And Nate's like, what's the point? So Diana claims it will look good to their advertisers, which I guess, I don't know. Do advertisers usually want to see the editor of a paper dating the much older investor? Like, I don't understand. Yes, we must advertise here.
I think the answer is look at her eyes and tell me she doesn't have like crazy girl eyes. And that's all you need to know. Where she's like, but it will work for us strategically, business wise. I think she thinks if she just throws out enough business jargon at Nate, he'll just be like,
it works.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Advertisers, investors, money. And Nate's so stupid it just may work. Yeah.
Synergy.
Okay,
When you put
when you put it that way. So Serena's excited to see Lola. Lola fills in Serena that Nate swears there's nothing going on with Diana. I feel like we've had the same scene like 3 times in a row between them here. But he still refuses to bring Lola as his date tonight. And this is why Nate should not be bringing Diana as his date tonight. But Nate, again, not that smart. So Serena presents Lola with her 2 options. Stay home and do nothing, or go to the party with her and model. And so Lola tells Serena to tell Tracy she'll be there with a date. And Diana better watch out because she's ready. And Serena looks very pleased with herself. I guess at this point, does Lola already have the idea to just use Serena to do that? Like, when did she talk to Nate to plan this ruse out?
Yeah, I was trying to figure this out, and I feel like
Don't
it
let us
has
know.
to be after this,
yeah,
right?
She has an idea, talks to Nate about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's maybe like the seed is there now. She's like, oh, I know I can figure something out once I get to this place, and now I have a name.
Yeah. Much like the rest of the cast, she's thinking on her feet.
Yeah.
Always. We are at the event of the week, and Lola arrives with her Juilliard buddy and goes to, or not quite in Juilliard yet. Remember, he's only 16. And he goes to visit the open bar, notably as an underage person.
Also, what is this actor going to look at Juilliard for? Is it going to go like,
yeah,
they act here. All right. Yeah, I could check it out.
Hey, you're at Juilliard? I've heard good things.
If you're acting, go ahead, go.
I don't know if it's for me. I got to visit it. So Serena comes over and thinks that bringing a hot guy was a nice touch. And Lola sees Nate with Diana and thinks it's annoying that she's even more beautiful in person. Like, come on. She's old, though.
I think she looks great.
I mean, Elizabeth Hurley does look great, of course, but she isn't old, so...
Yeah, come on.
She isn't old.
So Serena knows that as soon as Diana sees Lola model, not only will she back off, but Lola and Nate will be the city's biggest couple. Lola will surpass Serena as the it girl in no time.
Wait till you guys see this cool move she does where she runs around and covers her crotch. You'll fall in love. Wow, new technique.
Lola doesn't think anyone can surpass Serena, especially not her, but Serena's confident. She can't wait for it to happen. And Lola goes to introduce herself to Diana and brings her friend Aiden. Nate asks what she's doing here, and Lola tells him not to make a scene at his big business event. And she introduces herself and her date to Diana. And Diana plays it cool, shakes Aiden's hand. She's surprised that Lola's here tonight. And Lola lets her and Nate know that she was actually invited to model tonight. And again, I don't know how, she doesn't have any modeling experience, but she's confident enough, I guess. So Nate had no idea she was modeling. Aiden suggests that he and Diana go get a drink while Nate and Lola talk. And Diana shuts that down because she and Nate need to say hello to people. But she does tell Lola that she might lose 2 men to her today. Already flirting with the young buck Aiden here. And when she says that, though, Nate does not stick up for her or say that you didn't lose me to her. Don't worry.
She's right,
Just Diana's you might lose your second man to me today, implying that she has lost.
She's
Nate
already
to
got
her.
Nate, yeah.
I mean, I guess they're working with at this point. I didn't know that they were working with each other, so I thought it was weird that he didn't say anything. But yeah, I guess since
so their conversation was had to concoct this plan before this moment, I guess.
I think
had to be,
right?
Yeah.
So at At the loft, Rufus tells Lily what Ivy's lawyer told him, and Lily admits she never called the lawyer. And now that Ivy's out, she needs to legally
This
make
is
sure
very
she
funny.
can't get back in.
Lily confessing this made me laugh out loud a bunch.
It is funny.
It's so shitty to like not only do this, but then not even tell Rufus when he's the one who's like had this whole plan. And also, it was in this scene that I realized that I now understand where Serena gets her heavyweight champion necklaces from.
Yeah.
They're sizable. I'm just focused on like it's 10 o'clock at night. Why does she need to bring the lattes? Are they decaf?
Listen, it's gonna be a late night. I don't know.
I like a decaf latte.
It has to be a decaf, right? Like,
hope
what
so.
is she doing with the lattes?
It's a very good question. She tells Rufus she's not going to feel any remorse about this because Ivy lied about who she was, manipulated her dying mother, and stole their apartment. Now, I do love badass Lily, unless of course she's screwing over my girl Ivy, and so I was not happy with her here. I was like, you stay away from Ivy, you let her live in that apartment.
I'm still.
Pro
I'm
Ivy,
Team
right?
Lily here. I think it's very
I know,
funny
you're-
that she
you're
pulled
always
over on
Team Lily.
Ivy.
It
Coming
is
from
fun. It
Liv's
is
point
funny.
of view too, it's like even though Cece allegedly knew who Ivy was, Lily still has no idea. That's all she knows is like, yeah, sure, maybe she knew what your actual name was, but I don't know what happened behind those closed doors while she was dying.
But it's not her money. It's not her money.
Not-
She has money,
Cece's,
and her mom
yeah.
had money, and she's just
Yeah.
like, gimme money. She's very what's her name from Parks and Rec? Like, money, please.
Yeah.
Like Mona Lisa.
Mona
Like,
Lisa,
that's-
Mona Lisa Saperstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
that's
I love-
Rufus's point too. But I also
Yeah.
can't stand Rufus at all. So Lily wins this argument for me for sure. Even though Rufus is supposed to look like the good guy, to me Lily looks like the good guy here, just in comparison to who she's talking to.
Well,
Wait,
Lily
hold on.
apologizes. You go on.
I just have a must ask question. Brennan, did you know about the prequel Lily and Rufus like spin-off show that they did?
Yes,
Okay.
Gagan was telling me about it because there was that one episode where we get the flashback.
Was the
and it
backdoor
was-
pilot? Yeah.
Yes, and we
Yeah,
were both
I
saying how much I would have loved to have watched that show.
One of the best
Yeah.
episodes of the show.
Yeah, but yeah, it's do we
I
have it
just
ranked
had
right now?
to-
Is it top 3 episodes?
I think it's somewhere up there. I don't
Yeah.
have the list in front of me, but yeah, it's definitely up there.
Okay. I just
Yeah,
had like a flashback and I just had to know if you knew about it.
Oh, it was so good.
Okay.
So now, Lily thinks that Ivy deserves exactly what she's getting. Rufus is hurt that Lily didn't just lie to Ivy; she lied to him. And Lily apologizes, but she's like, "Yeah, I knew you wouldn't be comfortable with it, so I had to protect you." And Rufus is like, "This is not what a marriage is. We have to be honest with each other." And Lily calls this an exception and just says, "I did what had to be done." Now, there's the Lily we love. When Lily dropped that line, I was like,
yeah,
"Okay,
that's
you
my
know."
girl. You cannot
know
love
what?
that.
Rufus is not okay with this. Lily wants to know how he can be so righteous when Ivy stole from them. And this again, she didn't steal. She got, she got left the.
Yeah,
the
I know,
stuff
but
fair and
let
square.
her stick it to Rufus a little bit. It's funny.
I was Team Rufus a little bit.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous.
I know. Rufus thinks the loft feels a lot more like home than their apartment, so he's going to be roomies with Dan
Even
from
after he
now
says
on.
that and pouts and like walks off like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
you're just
yeah,
like,
listen,
come on.
listen.
He's such a baby.
Rufus is
I
such
appreciate
a freaking
Lily's energy more.
butthead. Like now we
Yeah.
know where Dan gets it from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ton of butthead.
Rufus and Dan are going to be, chit chatting with the bros. They're going to be roomies.
Not getting haircuts together.
Yeah.
Dan and Blair are never going to get alone time in the loft now.
Good.
Yeah, I hope their time's done soon.
So, where are we? Nate and Diana are at the party. Nate calls out Diana that since it's a buyer's market for newspapers, if she wanted a paper, she could have gotten one anywhere. I don't understand how the newspaper business works, so I'll have to take Nate's word for this, that it was in fact a buyer's market. But he's insinuating that Diana came back for him. And Diana proves Nate wrong by marching up to Aiden, kissing him, and leaving the room with him. that's her response to
doesn't prove
that.
anything.
This is the
She's like, "Oh,
child.
She's like, "Oh yeah, I came back for you. Let me make out with this man instead."
Also, this is a business event, and she's like, "Yeah, this will impress advertisers. Look at me making out with this baby boy."
She knows business.
And then Lola's
Sex
like, "Oh, where's
sells.
Yes.
Lola asks, "Where's her date going?" And Nate replies, "Exactly where we want him to." And then I guess this is the reveal that this was the plan all along.
And Nate and Lola
Oh my
make out
God.
hardcore.
What a convoluted plan. Like,
Oh, absolutely. It's everything in this show is convoluted.
yeah,
Yes.
yes, very much so. Blair arrives, and she asks Chuck if it's true that he paid her dowry, and Chuck's like, "Who told you?" He should know this, but I mean, he knows that it's Nate's fault because the only people he told was Andrew Tyler and Nate, and AT's not telling
as soon
anyone.
as Blair asks him, he should have been like, Nate.
Dumb Nate.
Yeah, Chuck swears that Blair is saying that like he did this just so because he thinks he can buy her love, just like he tried to sell her, and that now that the divorce is over, he's collecting his prize. But Chuck's points out that he didn't collect, and he swears he didn't want Blair to know. He said the only people who knew were Nate and Andrew Tyler, and he just wanted Blair to be free. And whom you choose to love with that freedom is up to you. Saying the right things.
But he's looking pretty good in the moment.
Whom you choose to love is up to you.
But
I mean, listen. At the
But I
end of
don't
the
know.
episode, when Dan gives her a cubic zirconia tiara, I think in that moment she's like, "I should have picked Chuck because this could be
It's
a real
supposed to be a
tiara."
cute
Chuck's
moment,
doing.
and I really do think she's like, "Oh my god, what have I done?"
She's like, "I need to break up with him immediately."
God, I hope so. I hope that's the first scene of next episode. Diana is getting it on with Aiden. She is
Yeah.
disrobing him and kissing his body, and Aiden seems happy to partake. And because we got that foreshadowing in the beginning of the episode where Aiden saw a picture of Diana Payne and said, "She's hot."
This boy is 16. You nasty woman.
No, at this
Yep.
point in
Look
time.
at him. Look at the boy.
He looks of age.
Baby face.
You think
I have an
man
eye for
has
that
a
sort of thing.
baby face?
For television, yes. You always have to minus 10 years off of how old they look.
Just in case I wouldn't hook up with him.
That's very noble of you.
Yes. Just in case.
Also, my favorite is when they're like, they have the phone just like peeking over the edge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is no one noticing this? And then they're talking, and I'm like, there's literally no walls. Like there's
Like a
there's
gap
big
at the
gap.
front.
It started to seem like Diana Payne was like performing for the camera.
Yeah. And yeah, they're like talking at a normal volume, and Nate's just like, "Man, Aiden's a good actor." And Lola's like, "I don't think he's acting." And then Serena opens the door and catches Nate and Lola spying. Diana still does not notice, I guess. And Serena's confused that they're working together.
Wait, you're not
And
modeling for me right now?
But you're the it
Lola wants to
girl.
explain. Yeah, Serena's hurt. She's like, "You used me." And immediately I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like
As soon as you said that, I was like, how? What?
Like Serena wasn't completely using Lola all night. Like
Yeah.
she's the worst. She has the nerve to try and make Lola feel bad now because she's not doing everything Serena wants to like force her to do.
And I thought maybe she was in this moment like just sort of still trying to trick Lola into like, all right, I see she maybe doesn't want to do the modeling thing. Let me make her feel bad and guilt trip her so she does do what I want her to do. But she was genuinely just hurt.
But then she's just a sociopath. She's
Yeah,
either
yeah,
a delusional or a sociopath.
Yeah.
Was she just hurt that she just wasn't in on the plan? That's why she was hurt, right?
I think she does like to be included. That's true.
Oh,
We all
don't
like to
we
be
all?
included.
Yeah.
She just said she wasn't as smart as she thought she was.
And then Diana finally catches on that people are just out there recording her, and she walks over to Nate and asks what the hell he's doing, and Nate replies, "I'm filming you and Aiden. Oh, and he's 16, by the way, so good luck running the Spectator from jail." And so Nate asks what he should do with the recording, front page of the Spectator or just let Gossip Girl run with it. And Diana just smiles and tells Nate to post the video wherever he wants. If what's his name really is 16, you'll be in prison right there next to me for recording and distributing child pornography. And Nate's just stunned speechless. He's like, "Damn, I really didn't think about that
I mean,
one."
if they weren't having sex, then it's not porn, right? Is it porn if they're just making out?
Listen,
mean,
I've not
Jess,
researched the
Softcore?
laws on this.
Yeah, like
I
it's
don't
recording a minor without their permission and then posting on the internet.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think Aiden's like, please let me show this to all my friends.
Yeah.
Look at how hot
I think,
this lady
don't post
is.
it,
gonna
governor,
say-
but can you send it to me? I just want to show my buds.
I just, not for nothing though, Diana was ready for that excuse to defend hooking up with a 16-year-old. It's like she's done this before.
She's done this so
Film it
many
all you
times.
want. You can't
Like,
use
joke's
it.
on you, buddy. I can
She's
make out
like,
with all the
I know.
16-year-olds I want.
I know from experience that you can't do anything with that recording. People have tried, and they have gone to jail right next to me. The models are modeling, and Dan is there with Blair, asking if she's okay. Blair just isn't used to Chuck doing anything selfless, and Dan thinks that people are capable of surprises. And again, he tells Blair that he thought she already knew because he saw that she hadn't signed the divorce papers. And Blair tells him that it had nothing to do with Chuck or the dowry. Her whole life, she wanted to be a princess, and when she met Louis, it was this whole whirlwind of royalty and tiaras. Is that the magic word, tiaras? And it seemed like her dream was coming true. I may have married a prince, but I never got to be a princess. And she knows it's silly. It's just one more thing that she needed to mourn before moving on. It's hard not to feel for Blair here.
That's fucking
She
stupid.
was a princess, but didn't get to be a princess.
I want to say that when they first started dating, he was worried that she was dating him, but only because he was a prince and she could be a princess. And she said, no, that's not true at all.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point. Yeah.
All right.
I feel
Louis also sucks, so.
Yeah.
so horrible that Blair did not get to be a princess. It is so traumatic for her, and I just feel really awful.
It's one of the things that everyone gets to do. They get to have their princess moment.
Yeah.
I ever since I found out that my name means princess, I've aspired to be nothing less. And
Wow.
I'm yet to be a princess. So
All you have
My
to do is marry
favorite-
Prince Louis.
My favorite is how this is what she's dwelling on, not the fact that, I don't know, she had Louis' baby in her and then traumatically lost it in a car crash, and then we simply just moved on.
Well, yeah.
We
we
don't deal with
she
trauma
said
well on
that-
this show, honestly. Babies and old women dying alike.
Also,
Just
can I
move
say
on.
I was like convinced it was Chuck's baby up until like they just dropped the
Wasn't.
storyline.
Yeah.
Like the whole time I was convinced that it was going to be Chuck's baby somehow.
no, Jess, because
just got rid of it.
her and Louis had sex hundreds of times,
So statistically.
but only once with Chuck.
And that's how sex works, people.
That's it.
She did mourn her tiara for a longer time than she mourned her unborn baby.
Yes. Absolutely. The morning of the tiara lasted longer than the morning of CC as well.
Ooh.
Well, that's unfortunately true as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blair's tiara got a bigger moment in this episode than Cece had in her death episode.
It was more focused on the money that whole episode. And the silver.
Cece's last words should have been, "I just always wanted to wear a tiara." And Dan comes with his this shitty tiara and puts it on Cece's head.
So, this is like so dorky, but the cubic zirconia tiara that Blair is wearing is in the likeness of the Princess Diana lover's knot tiara. It looks very similar, which is like Kate
Oh.
Oh.
Middleton wears it a lot as well.
We know they've been doing the Princess Diana parallels with Blair. So this is just one more they probably had to sneak in. Lola is pleading her case to Serena. I wish she wouldn't, but she tells Serena, she's like, I really wanted your advice, but she does admit to coming to the party with her so she can make it look like she and Nate were fighting in front of Diana. And Lola is flattered that Serena thinks she can live up to the It Girl title, but she doesn't care about that, and neither does Nate. But she hopes that her and Serena can still be friends. But Serena is so
Her
butthurt
response is
that
so
Lola doesn't
funny.
want to be her precious It Girl, that now she's like, well, why would I want to be friends? Like, are you
You've been begging this girl to be a part of your family. And
literally begging her to be your friend? She's like, if you're not gonna be my It Girl, why would I be friends with you? Why would I be friends with you? She's like, I put myself on the line for you, and all you did was let me down. Serena's insufferable. I'm sorry.
There
Like,
was
this is-
no line that was put.
What line did you put yourself on? What are you talking
what is
about?
wrong with her? I'm afraid of Serena.
Well, then you're doing something right. Yeah.
I'm
She's
terrified
lost her
for her.
mind.
I guess this is Tracy who comes over, and Serena throws Lola under the bus, and she's like, she's not modeling anymore. And so this lady's like, oh no, this picture created so much buzz, we decided to change
What
the name of
about
the line
cover
from
the crotch pose.
we decided to change the name of the line from the Serena to the Lola. I was like, what? She's like, so you need to model something else. Like, what is happening
This
right now?
one photo, this one cover the crotch photo is enough for them
It's
to be like,
that good.
Serena, the past 5 years meant nothing to us.
Lola now, baby.
And
And I
that
also
doesn't spoil
love-
anything, but she can pose. We see later on that she can really pose.
Yeah.
I just think it's
Serena-
so dumb that they would be like, it would be so confusing to the audience if you, Serena, was wearing
The Lola.
a dress that's called the Lola. Like, that just can't work
Everyone
out.
sees like,
It's
wait, but I heard that's called a Lola, and Serena's wearing it. It doesn't really make
It's
any
just
sense.
too confusing.
I'm not gonna buy it. I can't buy it.
I can't buy it.
This is too confusing for me. I'm leaving. And Serena can't believe what's happening. They can't have Serena going out there and being the face of the Lola. This is all so incredibly stupid.
So I don't think either one of them go out and model.
And then I also like that Serena's like, oh well, if you would have told me this 2 minutes ago, it would have been good, but right now it's not. Like, what is she supposed to say? Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I'm telling you. Okay, as it stands now, though, this is what's happening. And so
maybe if Serena wasn't running all over, like yelling at people in the bathrooms, then she would be
Yeah.
able to be told sooner.
That's
probably.
also probably true.
The next day, Serena's still getting messages from the real Gossip Girl. Time's up, S. Time to hand back what's mine. Give me the password. And Lola comes in to apologize again for last night. She really appreciates everything Serena went through, was doing for her. Again, she really shouldn't be apologizing. And Serena finally tells Lola that it's okay and that being the it girl clearly isn't for her. But Lola's like, actually, it might be. I got a call from an agent who saw my photo on Gossip Girl and wants to have a meeting with me. How amazing was this covering of the crotch photo that she's getting calls from agents now? Random agents are calling. Did you see Gossip Girl? We gotta get our hands on this girl. What?
I don't know.
This is
That's
insane.
why I wish I could have seen it.
All right, pervert. Get your mind out of the gutter, man. So Serena asks what Nate thinks about this, and he doesn't care, but he's supportive of Lola's acting career, so he's happy. And Serena asks Lola how she plans to use her power, and Lola was thinking that instead of being a beautiful and unobtainable it girl like Serena, maybe she could be more of an every girl. They're really losing me with this plot. Why are we supposed to care? Like, I don't care what kind of it girl
Freaking
Lola is
rip.
going to be.
Yeah. And
all right.
Lola's like, that's stupid, isn't it? I don't know. And then I was fully ready for Serena to be like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty stupid. Bad
Not
idea,
what
dummy.
I do, but
Dumbest thing I've ever heard, Lola.
You're futile, Lola. So Serena tells her, it's just that these things come and go pretty quickly, so she wouldn't get used to it. Kind of rude from Serena, but all right. She's been trying to get Lola to be an it girl. Yeah, she's been trying
She's
to.
like, actually, I'm kind of busy. So can you leave though? I know you came all the way
Yeah.
here, but please leave.
And after she was spending
been
all
trying to
day
get-
yesterday saying like, you're gonna be a bigger it girl than I ever was. This is gonna be crazy and big.
Yeah, she's been trying all episode to get Lola to be the it girl. Then Lola finally agrees to be the it girl, and Serena's like, all right, but don't get used to it, and also get out of here. I gotta work, but I'll call you later. Oh my god. So I think a little jealousy is happening here from Serena to her little cousin now, which is very sad from Serena. Diana wants to talk to Nate. She didn't realize how upset Nate was with her until last night, or how hard he's willing to fight for the Spectator. And Nate's just like, yeah, I've been putting my heart and soul into this paper, which I guess is probably why it's about to financially collapse without Diana's
Yeah.
help. But and Diana wants him to find a way to work together, but Nate doesn't know how to do that anymore. But for starters, Diana's going to apologize for not being honest with Nate about being in business with grandfather. And she would apologize for last night, but she thinks that was more of a draw. And then she says that she found another office downstairs too, so she's not even going to try to steal his office. I don't. It seems too easy. All of this, I don't understand what happened. She's like, oh, I saw how much you actually liked the Spectator last night, so now I'm changing my whole approach to everything.
She had a change of heart. She's so
Apparently.
generous.
Yeah, I
Kind.
guess that's not what she really cares about. She cares mostly just about getting with Nate. She's like, well,
Well, yeah, because then she comes clean. She's like, yeah, you were right about me still having feelings for you. But I promise not to let the feelings get in the way of
Why?
your relationship or our work. Which is so sad. She's hung up on this 21-year-old fat-lipped dummy.
What is it about
Fat-lipped
me?
dummy.
What? Look at him.
They're meant to be
I'm not-
together.
he's not
They're
bad
meant to be.
looking, but like,
Diana Payne and Nate are endgame. That's it.
I hope so.
You said it. You heard it here first.
Looks like somebody's been on the Reddit.
Classic Niana.
ugh.
Date-ana? Date? We'll figure it out.
Date.
Yeah, you got it. Chuck meets with Andrew Tyler. Andrew doesn't think that Chuck should keep trying to contact Elizabeth, and Chuck appreciates the concern, but he's decided he wants a relationship with his mother. But then Andrew Tyler tells him, Elizabeth is not your mother. What?
Dun, dun, dun.
Andrew made contact with her. She swore it wasn't her who donated the blood. She was apparently in a monastery at Tibet at that time. And she wasn't lying because P.I. Andrew Tyler already looked into it and the story checks out. Chuck tells him to keep looking into it. Someone donated that blood and he wants to know who. So, like you were saying, Brendan, Elizabeth is now back to not being Chuck's mother. It seems like we talk about episode to episode. The writers, keep changing the storyline. It seems like the writers can't get on the same page in this very episode. They're not even agreeing. One second, Elizabeth's the mother. The next second, she's not again.
Yep. Snip, snap, snip, snap.
So my question is then, like, are we supposed to like? It's not the fake
Jack.
mother who
It's
donated.
not, yep.
It's not Jack. But it's also not his real mother. It's just somebody, and we don't know who.
I think it was
Okay.
Andrew
Yeah,
Tyler.
But, like, I understand, like, why he wants to know, because you kind of want to thank them. But, like, do we care? No. Like, I don't care who donated blood to him.
I mean, I think I care who Chuck's mom is.
no, I'm saying I don't care who the hell was the one who, like, donated the blood. Like, that's what he's obsessed with.
But
is
it's a
figuring
family
that out.
member, and he doesn't have a family. So
Right,
it
so
means
whoever it
a
is
lot
has to be
Chuck.
part of his
Family means everything to him, just like Serena. So
Yeah.
Except that it actually does mean a lot to him because the thing is that Chuck is alone. Like,
right, because his dad's dead.
like so one of the most like heartwarming relationships in the whole show is how Lily is always so
Yeah.
loving and kind with Chuck because she knows that he has nobody else in this world, and she was his step's mother for a period of
month.
time. So it's like
Until Rufus killed Bart with the car crash.
I've always enjoyed that because it's like she's like the only one that like realizes that like he literally has nobody else.
Rufus saved Chuck's life. He's been saving Bart's blood ever since he killed him in that car crash.
Oh,
It's full of all the blood in the trunk.
It's a memento. He scooped it up into a jar and put it into Chuck's body at the hospital.
Like, Lily, don't worry, I got just the thing. Gonna back up the Lincoln.
Yes, I've always loved to get serious again. I've always loved the Lily and Chuck relationship.
Well, that was the first theory. He was like, "Thank you, Lily, for the blood. I appreciate it." And she's like, "It wasn't me. It was Jack." And then Jack's like, "It wasn't me. It was your fake mom." And now fake mom's like, "I was in Tibet." So like, how long are we gonna go on with this? I am intrigued just because they like are
Every
making,
episode
are
is going to
making
be
us-
someone else.
Yeah.
It was Michael, the leukemia actor, the whole time.
Who?
Mike.
Oh, the little
Michael
kid?
from last episode. Yeah, the leukemia actor that Jack pushes over. Blair and Dan get out of a car, and Blair doesn't know what's going on. She feels like a prom queen doing the walk of shame because she's in a very big dress right now.
Ugly
and
dress.
It reminds me of when Rachel had to wear a little Bo Peep dress as a bridesmaid in Friends. Like, it's so ugly. She looks like a cupcake.
Did Dan
was
pick
a
this
lot.
dress out? This doesn't look like something that
This
Blair would
feels
pick
like
out.
something that Dan picked out. He's like, let's get you in your princess dress. It has to be puffy. Like,
Yeah,
the
Dan says
puffiest dress ever.
Dan says she looks like a princess, and he gives her a tiara made of cubic zirconia, and she reluctantly puts it on as they're standing, on the iconic steps. And Dan thought she should feel like a princess one last time. And the next generation of Gossip Girl sees Blair Waldorf, and they all come running over. They're freaking out. To be fair, this would be my reaction if I saw Blair Waldorf as well. I'd be like, Blair, oh my God,
Yeah,
Blair, you're
sure.
wearing a tiara.
Would you also be wearing multicolored tights?
Yes, I would be.
Multicolored tights.
They all want a picture with the real life princess, and Dan is happy to take the picture. He tells everyone to smile, and then he does like the weirdest line reading in the world when he yells, like, "Smile bigger!" Like, I was like, that seemed out of character. But all right. Blair's loving this, and she smiles at Dan. But sorry,
I don't know if
this
she's
is-
loving this. She's still like, she doesn't look
maybe
very
not. She
sure.
does smile at Dan.
He's like,
This
you're
is
nothing
not-
compared to Chuck and his money.
Yeah.
It's not working for me. I don't buy it.
Your
So-
kisses don't have chemistry. Like, their kiss
I
chemistry
agree.
is so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I don't know what the problem with
It's-
cubic zirconia is. It sounds pretty cool and like expensive to me.
It's
Sounds like
very
something that like
cheap.
Xenon the Warrior would wear.
I don't think you have Blair standards in mind.
Her standards have
Blair's
changed.
jewelry.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Lola gets a Gossip Girl blast. It turns out that Lola staged the photo of herself in a fireman's jacket. How desperate. Doesn't she realize there can only be one It Girl for the Upper East Side, and that will always be Serena Vanderwoodson? Wow. Speaking of desperate, this is how Serena is keeping herself relevant and making herself feel better by trashing
How
her
does Lola
very
not
nice
see how
cousin
targeted this is?
and writing her own Gossip Girl blast where she talks about how great she is. Like, this is a new low for Serena.
Yeah. The only reason why
I
Lola
cannot- I
must
could not
not
believe- I can't
realize
believe
that
she did
Serena's
that
Gossip Girl is
blast.
because she's so new to this world. Otherwise, anyone else in this scenario would be like, okay, so I just left Serena's room and this blast went off about me. Okay, I know exactly what's going on here.
I
This
also
is
love
crazy.
that when she tries to call Nate, the woman is like, he's unavailable. Also, he's in a room with Diana. Like, as if an assistant would be like, this is who he's in a room with, and he asked not to be disturbed.
Sorry, he's in a locked room with Diana Payne, and he said not to disturb him.
Oh, and it looks
I
like
think-
they're making googly eyes
Well,
at each other
yeah.
right now.
I think they're kissing. You'll have to call it.
Oh, there's hand stuff. This is definitely Diana Payne like trying on her American accent on the phone.
And so, the paparazzi now try to get pictures of poor Lola, and she tries to shy away, but then she decides that she's into it now, and she poses to get her picture taken.
Wow, model. I knew she was a model. I could just
And
tell.
that agent was onto something. Yes, she doesn't even cover her crotch this time.
That's what the buzz is going to be about. Full frontal crotch pose.
Lily returns to the penthouse, and Vanya tells her that he's going to go back down to get Mr. Humphrey's bags, but Lily says this is it for now. And we see Rufus is back in Brooklyn. Trouble in paradise.
I don't think Lily
Brendan-
gives a shit.
Are you,
More
are you
hard
worried?
for me?
Are you worried for your girl Lily and her man Rufus?
If she's not worried, I'm not worried. We're always at the same
All right.
temperature, baby.
Perfect. Chuck's doing his tradition of drinking alone. Blair texts him, thanking him for setting her free. Dan and Blair are walking down the stairs. They look happy, I guess, and they're walking arm in arm in the street. But I guess most importantly, we will end our episode with Serena typing away on her laptop. Get ready, kids, because I'm back, and this time I'm here to stay. So again, Miss Anti-Gossip Girl Serena herself is now going to be Gossip Girl full time. Serena, like she's become so much of a parody of herself at this point that like I'm starting to come around on it and love her. Like this is,
Right.
she's dangerously becoming so bad that she's going to come right around to being good again.
I'm not quite there yet, but I see where you're
I'm not
going.
quite there yet. If she keeps leaning into it and just being this pathetic, like I'm gonna have no choice but to live for the delusion.
Sure.
She's just an embarrassment to the Upper East Side. That's to the like the rest of her friends are all thriving and running newspapers and writing books, and she's just secretly being Gossip Girl and trashing her cousin.
Yeah, like just reporting on like high school drama.
Yep. And that's our episode. So
Wow.
what happens next? Any ideas? No.
Okay, so this was episode 19, right?
Yes.
There's no way Dan and Blair make it out of the season as a couple.
Yeah, no
there's
chance.
there's
Okay.
just no chance
Looking
that'll
at the
happen.
season runtime.
We have 5
Yeah.
more episodes in the season.
I think probably similarly about Nate and Lola. Honestly, I probably think the move is just to say none of the couples that are currently together will be together by the end of the season.
I like it.
Except for
Including
Lily and
Lily and
Rufus,
Rufus?
who will
Okay.
they'll get back together. I think
Yeah.
Rufus will come crawling out of his, Brooklyn dungeon and just be like, "Please, Lily, I got used to your
Yeah.
caviar dreams. Please take me back."
Yeah, he's another
Need
one.
a
He's like,
haircut.
I don't care about money at all, but like loves living in this penthouse and just being like a house husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. That penthouse has the good waffle maker.
Oh, for sure. He doesn't even have to light the stove with a match or anything.
Yeah.
No, the
So-
butler does it.
Butler makes waffles too.
Let's get into the segments. We'll start with, of course, my favorite segment, User Review of the Week. And we are back to the IMDb User Review section here, but not Comedy Fan. It is Caleb A. Morgan, who gave this episode a 10 out of 10 and titled the review, "I loved this episode." And they said, "It felt like the first season. It felt like Gossip Girl again. I didn't know how I felt about Serena becoming Gossip Girl, but I love everything she posted. I loved her finally acknowledging her status as the it girl of New York again. It's like the writers forget that she's the Serena. I just wish we got to see her model. Blair and Dan being together is still weird and annoying." Yeah, say. Blair and Dan being together is still weird and annoying. It feels like fan fiction being brought to life. That I agree with. All the
agree with
Serena
that.
love stuff I was disagreeing with,
Yeah,
but
I'm on board.
I agree about the Blair and Dan fan fiction stuff.
Yeah. Good review.
All right. Good review, Caleb. Next week, the episode title is Salon of the Dead. Do you have any predictions based on the episode title?
Ooh. Serena's gonna get rid of that disgusting hair color finally at the nearest salon.
That's what it is.
Or
It
Rufus
has
and
to
Dan both
be.
get haircuts together.
And maybe Nate's. You know what? Everyone just go to the same salon.
Everyone needs a haircut except for Blair and Chuck.
Yeah.
Which is why they need
Well,
to be together because they actually have good
They
hair.
need to get one season where everyone's hair is working. Like
Yeah.
as soon as someone's hair gets good, another character's hair goes bad. They can't all get on the same page. But the preview for next week's episode, and I have no recollection of this at all, but it says Blair and Dan host a glamorous British themed salon.
Sounds fun to me.
Incredible.
I don't know if I've blocked this episode out. I have no.
British
This
themed
is
salon,
not
okay.
ringing any bells for me. But all right, let's do the episode grades. Brendan, you went first last week, so I will go first this week. And the good news is this episode isn't as bad as the last few have been, but it's still not making a ton of sense. Also, not quite in the fun way. Like the show isn't as entertaining as it used to be to like warrant the nonsense that's going on. The Blair and Dan stuff just continues to not work for me. Even though they tried to give us that cute princess moment, whatever that was, then. I can't seem to decide what to do with the Chuck situation. The Rufus and Lily stuff, I guess, could get interesting. But as far as this episode goes, like if they were going to be feuding with and like double crossing Ivy, I wish we could have seen Ivy in the episode instead of just like talking to her lawyer on the phone. And then, our main plot was pretty decent with Serena and Lola and Nate and Diana. I mean, most of it didn't make a ton of sense, with the it girl of it all, but it was fine enough to watch. So while this still isn't the greatest Gossip Girl I've ever seen, I won't be as harsh as the last few episodes, and I'll give it a nice C-, almost average.
Okay.
And then, what do you grade the episode?
Yeah, I'm right around there with you. It's crazy to me that the most interesting stuff was dealing with Diana Payne and Lola, like that. Those are like our two mains this episode, which says a lot about where the show is at currently. I sort of care about finding out who Chuck's mom is, but again, we keep saying we've done this before. Can we just like land on something and like stick with it, please? Lily and Rufus are there. I think they're just trying to do anything with the two of them at this moment because they've been too stable for too long and in the background, so they need something to shake them up, which I'm okay with. Blair and Dan does absolutely nothing for me, so I'm going to land right in the middle at C.
Brendan, you used to be such a Dare shipper. How quickly you've turned.
I know. They ruined it. I wanted it to just be a fun, quick little fling in season 4 that we could move past and end up being with Chuck. But I never wanted it to be Endgame.
They should have ended it when they had bad sex. That should have been the end of it.
Way earlier
yes.
than, yeah. Well,
You also used to love Serena over Blair, and you quickly turned.
that was like
you're,
1 or 2 episodes.
I know.
Lasted maybe just 1 or 2.
You have all the right opinions. Jess, Sarah, whoever wants to go first, what would you guys like to grade the episode?
I've seen a lot of good Gossip Girl, and this is not constitutes as good Gossip Girl. I think like a C- is the right call over here.
Couldn't agree
Okay.
more.
Yeah, I feel similarly. I'm also going to give it a C-. It just feels like I don't like Dare at all. It does not work for me. I want Chuck and Blair to be together. I don't care about Nate and Elizabeth Hurley. It's like, what are we actually doing with that? I love how bad Serena is at being Gossip Girl. Like, I don't think the show is like wanting us to feel that way, but I'm enjoying how bad she is at it. So like,
True.
that redeems the episode
Yeah.
ever so slightly because she just sucks at it so much. And honestly, I think we all can agree that Ivy is better than Lola. So like, bring
100%.
back
Yeah.
Ivy. Like, bring back messy
Ivy.
Queen Ivy.
I
Yeah.
love Ivy. Living for Ivy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Serena is bad at being like if you look at what Gossip Girl's been up to, randomly not posting about Serena at all until to come in at the end and be like, by the way, Serena's the best it girl. Don't we all agree? Someone needs to put the pieces together that
I'm
Serena is
honestly
running Gossip
surprised
Girl.
that she hasn't sent out a thing that was like -S at the end by
That's-
accident.
Right,
Like,
right.
I'm shocked
Waiting for that to happen.
Which maybe is a reason her and Nate belong together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's something to be said there.
All right, let's do our MVPs for the week. And for me, very simple. The MVP is Chuck Bass simply for his basketball outfit. I wish I could give him more than one because he deserves it, but he'll just get the one MVP. Brendan, who's your MVP?
For me, it's easy as well. It goes to Lily. Lily got her apartment back. She tricked Ivy into getting no money and leaving the apartment being homeless, and she got to go back to her apartment without Rufus. So it's a full easy MVP for me.
When you put it that way, it's so right. Sarah, who's your MVP for the week?
I mean, I think I just convinced myself that Serena is the greatest
Wow.
gossip girl of all time. So
Okay.
I think
Go
that Serena, but specifically Serena as Gossip Girl.
Serena
Not
as
Serena
Gossip.
in general, just Serena as
Sure.
Gossip Girl.
Okay.
So I'm gonna write exactly that. Serena as Gossip Girl. Now starring Serena as Gossip Girl. And
Yep.
Jess, who is your MVP for this episode?
All have such a bad week. Like every character is like having a bad time. I think I'm going to say Blair simply because she gets divorced like she wanted. I mean, she gets a princess moment, even if it is like a Party City princess moment. Um, but she still gets her divorce and she's happy with Dan, and she has someone who's willing to pay off a dowry for her. So like nice
Yeah.
backup plan for her, you
Yeah,
know?
it's true.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
no one else is really having a good week.
Things are going pretty well for Blair, all things considered. As far as LVP goes, I'll balance out the Serena MVP because Serena's going to get my LVP for the third week in a row. I think I've made clear all the things I couldn't stand about her all episode long.
Yeah.
Her whole thing being pro family and anti Gossip Girl, and now she's literally Gossip Girl and selling out her family members. So she's the worst. She's the new Vanessa. This is what we were.
Yeah. Yeah.
How dare you?
It's
person
getting
to hate
that
on every
point.
week.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah, no one will ever be worse than Vanessa, but it is getting to the point where we're just ragging on her every week. Brendan, who's your LVP?
It's Serena as well. I almost didn't give it to her because I've been having fun ragging on her to a point where like it started to make me like it and like her. But I can't trick myself like that. She's she's bad. She's bad.
I'm so
All right,
good
Sarah,
at lying to myself.
you already gave Serena the MVP. Would be kind of
Yeah.
crazy if you also gave her the LVP.
I'm waiting for it.
I've done it before, and I could do it again. I mean, Lola is the most boring shit that I've ever seen. Like,
Wow.
screw her.
Yeah, shit, girl, interrupted.
She will never
it's
make
catching
it
on.
as the it girl. She'll never make it as the it girl.
Oh, now you
so.
sound like Serena. Now you sound like Serena as Gossip Girl.
XOXO Gossip Girl bitches.
And Jess, who is your LVP?
I mean, yeah, it's Serena. Like, girl, get your hair fixed. Stop saying your whole life is about family when you're trying to screw your family over. Like, stop being so obvious that you're Gossip Girl. Also, you should recycle that magazine. Don't throw it in the trash. That was pretty.
Yeah,
weird.
you sicko.
And
Yeah, LVP just for that.
Get some more delicate necklaces, please, because you're gonna have neck problems by the time you're 25. Like, it
Sure.
really
This
is.
2012.
Ugh, so
There
brutal.
were no smaller necclaces.
Yeah, they didn't
I
exist
just
yet.
went
We
without, I
didn't have
think.
that technology yet.
If it was choke and die or no necklace, I think I'd rather go no necklace.
No. This is
turbulent-
small for 2012.
Turbulent episode for Serena. 3 LVPs and an MVP.
Wow.
Good for her. And that does it for the segments, except of course for everyone's favorite segment, Lonely Boys Theater. And for this one, I believe the only 4-person scene I could find was the one where Lola and Aiden are meeting Nate and Diana. And who wants to be who? I will let our guests. There's no character that I'm particularly married to, so whatever you guys want to be, I could pick up the leftovers.
Jess, you do have a talent for the British accent.
Oh.
I would love to put my British accent on display.
Perfect. So Jess can
Love
be
nothing
Diana.
more.
Mhm. I mean, the
I'll
Lola
step
will-
fall on the sword, and I was gonna take Lola since she's the boring.
Okay.
All right.
She wanna be
You
Lola.
You can be Lola. I don't know. Like I'm very happy to be Aiden because I'm just so
Okay.
young and fresh.
You got your one line, so you better make it count. And I'll be
Yeah.
dummy Nate. Does everyone have their scripts in front of them?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Ready.
So Lola, you can take it away.
Hey Nate, you remember Aiden?
Yeah. What are you doing here?
Careful, Nate. You don't want to cause a scene. This is a business party after all. Hi, I'm Lola Rhodes. I don't think we've ever met. This is my date, Aiden Hill.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm surprised to see you, Lola. Nate said you wouldn't be making it.
Actually, I was invited to model tonight. Can't you see by the way I'm covering my crotch in front of you?
Oh God, that British accent is really doing something for me. gotta stay with the plan. What? I didn't know that you were modeling.
Well, why would you? It's not like we were coming together.
maybe Diana and I should get a drink while you two talk.
Actually, Nate and I need to go and say hello to a few people. Lola, maybe it's time for you to show Aiden what you're modeling tonight. Otherwise, you might lose 2 men to me in one day.
Oh, lucky. Aiden gets to have all the fun. Wow. What a British accent. What a performance by everyone all around.
Way to go.
Yeah.
A tremendous scene.
Stunning.
And those are our segments. So the only thing left to do is do some plugs. But before that, Jess and Sara, thank you for finally coming on the podcast. It was well worth the wait. This was such a fun time. Do you guys have anything you'd like to plug at this hour?
We had a blast. I love talking about Gossip Girl. It's such a good time. Obviously, you can find Jess and I at Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. We are currently covering Buffy and Felicity. So both are a lot of fun. And you can find us at Shit 90s Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, you
Get
can
out.
find me at the Jess Sterling. I do some podcasting on post show recaps. And you could find me there as well. And then, of course, talking Buffy and Willow. Come join us. It's a wild time. If you love a teen drama, Felicity and Buffy are also for you because they are dramatic, they're ridiculous, and they're very fun. So, yeah, check it out.
Very fun.
I've watched one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it's the show that I've always wanted to dive deep into.
The one we watched was good.
One of the,
Dive deep.
You watched a random one?
Season 2, episode 5. Yeah, we were on the Buffy Boyfriends podcast.
Oh.
To plug a rival podcast. But, yeah.
How dare you? Actually, how dare you?
A rival
And then
podcast.
you could censor that out in post.
Okay, yeah, of course. One big long boot.
All right, so Brendan, what are you plugging?
You can find our OC coverage on patreon.com/boysmedia, where we have covered a little over 2 seasons. I think we have put out season 2, episode 3 at this moment. A lot of good guests over there that you know and love from this show here. And since it's about time now, when this comes out, I think yesterday, Thursday, Matt Gagan's episode of Malt Madness should be out. So go check out the first region of drinks and Malt Madness, the non-alcoholic bracket, where we talk about lots of green drinks.
Yeah, the green bracket,
The green
baby.
bracket. Mountain Dew, Baja Blast, Mountain Dew, Kool-Aid Jammers, all the goods.
Oh my God, Kool-Aid Jammers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And you can vote if I don't actually know the link, but you can find our socials and vote to. You know what? Doesn't make any sense because the episode will already came out, so you can't.
Yes, by the time
vote
this
in the
comes
bracket.
out, you cannot vote on what has already been released.
I might have not closed it by then, so you can cheat if you'd like.
Yeah, hear the results and then make your bracket. Yeah,
A lot of perfect brackets this year. Weird.
For me, yeah, go check out that episode. That was very fun to record. I plugged my appearance on the BoJack Horse Pod presents Tuca and Bird Pod episode that I was on. Got released this week, so it will still exist next week when this releases. So
Sure.
so check that out. And then I'll plug Australian Survivor too, because this season, really good one. You're gonna want some of the best Survivor I've been seeing recently. I just watched an episode before we did this podcast, and I was on the edge of my seat. It's another fun season. They're doing a lot of great stuff over there in Australia, so check that out. Besides that, you can follow me on Twitter at MattyFresh24. You can follow Brendan at Ruppy Puppy. You can follow his other podcast, The Hoppy Boys, at The Hoppy Boys Pod. And you can come back next week where we will be breaking down Season 2, Episode 20, Salon of the Dead. But until then, you know you love us. XOXO. Lonely Boys.
Bye-bye.